Thunder, 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 thunderhead, ho!
Nope, nope, not again. We're not doing this. I'm not doing this today, Streamlabs. What the fuck is wrong with you? Alright, shut that down. So can you hear me in both ears today? That's the big question. Cat of Carmody was helping me figure out why I was in mono last time, and it turns out that there was a single checkbox that I needed to hit. And now, I'm not leaning over your left shoulder, whispering into your left ear. I'm just right fucking behind you right now, just talking. Hang on, my desk is a mess. You know, bear with me for a second while I do a little bit of cleanup before we get going. Where's Pretzel? Where's Pretzel? I got you open. Kaboom! Let's get some music going. Eventually, everything audio-related is going to work exactly the way it's supposed to. Eventually. One day, potentially.
To 50 Shades of Coal Gray. And as he pulled his stiff bristles out of my wet fluids, I yelled out, "No, Thunderhead! You need to thin that paint first!"
This is easily the most upsetting thing that Chaotic Harmony has recorded on my behalf. I didn't ask him to do that. That was not my idea. Pardon me, I'm arranging a few things on my desk off camera here so that I can reach everything. I've got so many fucking clones and droids on my desk right now. I am ramping up into speed painting mode on those guys. I might fire up some late night streams. I might, because I'm working on this stuff around, midnight, 1 a.m., and I'm just sitting here and batch painting and just staring at my fucking desk and doing nothing else. So, I might just turn on the camera one night, and, if you feel like hanging out with me as I get progressively drunker and higher on paint, you can do that. You have that option. You are an American, or, one of any number of other nationalities, but as long as you're in here, you are an honorary American, and everything that entails, and also I apologize for that, because that's kind of a terrible thing to do to somebody. Oh, who do we got? We got Hathrier, we got O'Coral, Colonel Matthew Steiner, good to see ya. Oh, McB! What's up, Cat? Would you give a shout out to McB for me real quick? Yeah, the sound is actually working. What's up, Chryssala? Vergata Rung, Commissar Iguana, we got Morgul. And of course, as always, there's Cat. As always. McB, what's up, man? It's good to see you. How you been? No, I don't think that that's accurate, O'Coral. I'm not saying that it's the strangest thing he ever will record on my behalf. It's just the strangest thing so far. It kind of came out of nowhere for me. Oh, I'm doing some prep on some other figures also. I talked to my buddy Jack, and I'm going to be painting Black Widow on Thursday for Marvel Crisis Protocol, so I got to do some work on her. Put Red Skull back up there. We have today on the desk this here Annihilator, chosen by O'Coral as part of his points redemption, that I am going to be experimenting with how I'm going to do the Thunderskunk stripe, which I've got some ideas, I've got an approach in mind, and we'll see how it works out. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good, which means it'll probably be a complete fucking shit show. But then, if you weren't in for a shit show, you showed up to the wrong fucking stream, let me tell you. Moving my little battle droids. Oh my god, you guys, the battle droids in the Star Wars Legion Clone Wars box are... props to FFG for moving to styrene plastic sprues. That's a big jump from what they were producing before. They probably could have picked something easier to start with, because I feel bad for everybody who's like, I've never built a model before, and I want to build some B1 battle droids. They are a fucking pain in the ass. I had to get an assembly line going, which seems appropriate for battle droids, I guess. Just got done eating and cleaning, figuring out what else I need to do. McB, I know what else you need to do. You need to sit your ass down. You need to stare at your screen, and you need to shower praise and money on me. I mean, watch my stream. That's what I meant to say. Can't fool me. That's a Geth Colossus. It may as well be. It may as well. What year does Mass Effect take place in? I feel like Mass Effect and Battletech take place around the same year, now that I think about it. There's them fucking dollars. There's that cash money. I knew McBee was good for it. I knew it. Guys, if you enjoy a nice, chill atmosphere, if you enjoy a fun variety stream, if you enjoy a really tight-knit community, and you're looking for something to sit down and watch late at night, and you like dad jokes, well, nobody likes dad jokes. If you tolerate dad jokes, go check out McBee. I strongly recommend his stream. We like to hang out in there. He praises me from artwork, which, you know, I mean, the path to my heart is through my ego. That's just how I operate. And he tells a good dad joke. He does. And by a good dad joke, I mean some of the worst dad jokes I have ever heard in my life. Alright, I've got to straighten up a little bit before I get going, so bear with me here. It's just a mess. I've got like 4 games going right now. Got a bunch of Star Wars over here. I've got some unpainted mechs up here. I've got some Revelations over here. I got Marvel Crisis Protocol to the left of me. Joker's to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. And Pretzel playing bullshit music as usual. Fuck off. Pretzel, what are you doing to me, man? I have got to get my music figured out, you guys. If anybody has any suggestions for my music setup, I'm starting to look at it more. I definitely want to keep playing things that won't get muted as much. Because, Eclipse, hello, good to see you, man. I definitely want to play things that don't get muted as much, because I have been uploading these to YouTube, and I know a surprising number of people, catch the stream after the fact. I'm always surprised at the number of views that I get on my VODs, so I don't want to screw those people over by using music that is just going to get my entire stream muted. But at the same time, Pretzel, I mean, if you've been here, you've seen it, it pisses me off. We'll be listening to some perfectly good music, and then it'll hit me with, like, the fucking theme song to, I don't know, She-Ra or something. And, it throws me off. I don't like realize I'm listening to something annoying until about 30 seconds in, and then just this bad feeling comes over me, and I'm like, what's wrong? What's happening? Oh, it's the music. It's this godforsaken music. Oh, lordy lord. Moving stuff out of my way. What else we got? I got my drinks over here. I got my painting handle that I don't need. Let's put you up there, buddy. You can hang out up there until I bump you and you fall on my models and break something. That'll be a fun time. That'll be nice. What's everybody up to today? We working on anything fun? We working on anything good? We working on anything difficult? No, Coral. No, Coral. I refuse. We only play bad music here. Got a Pandora channel that works great. Probably not YouTube friendly, mostly instrumental stuff. I mean, that amounts to the playlist that I'm using here from Pretzel. It's just kind of a mix. And usually it's pretty good. There's actually a lot of really good music in this mix. And then every now and then there's something that's not so great. I don't have a lot of control over that, unfortunately. I give it a thumbs down, but it keeps coming back. Matthew Steiner working on a Lance of Frankenmechs. In case there's anybody here who does not know about the Stream Review channel, we've been doing something pretty fun in here. I gotta come up with a name for it, too. I feel like Stream Review is just so, it's on the nose. It's a literal description of what the hell we're going to be doing. And, I don't know. I feel like I need more weather puns, maybe? You know, some witty wordplay? Which is a problem for me, because I have no wit. But we have a channel on the Discord called Stream Review, and in that channel, viewers are encouraged to post pictures of models you're working on, things you're painting, cross-stitch you might be doing, anything you're working on. You got some cool photography you've done recently, anything even mildly artistic or creative. I even accept food porn. I resent food porn, because by the time I'm done here, I'm always hungry as hell, and then I go in there, and Hethrier has posted, like, a fucking rack of ribs, and, well, it hurts. It hurts me, because I'm not eating it, and I'd like to be. So, you know, you can torture me with that if you want to. I'm not going to say you can't. But either way, jump into the Discord. Pop over into Stormfront. No, that's... Cat, that has negative connotations. Ooh, Ada Darkmoor. Thank you so much for the follow, man. Welcome, welcome. Right at the beginning of the stream, too. We got lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff in store for you after I get done talking. For, like, the requisite half hour that I usually do in the beginning. Or I'm making up for the fact that I didn't really prepare for the stream, you know? And I drink my coffee. I've got to drink my coffee before we get going. Otherwise, it's going to sit here, it's going to get cold. 2 hours later, I'm going to take a sip from it, and you guys are going to hear about how it's eating the enamel off my teeth, and nobody likes
99
that.
99 bottles of paint on the wall, 99 bottles of paint. Take one down, shake it around. 150 bottles of paint on the wall.
Yeah, you know, Chaotic... Chaotic knows how that goes. Because I took a bunch of paints that I wasn't really... I don't want to say I wasn't using them. I was using them. They were paints that I'd had for a long time that I just hadn't... Because, you know, when you own miniature paints, I'm sure most of you know, there are a few colors that you find yourself using more than others. And, well, a lot that you don't. And a lot that just kind of linger. And I reached a point where I wanted to switch brands. I wanted to try the new, freaking Bone White. In my case, Coal Black. I go through that shit. Just like boom, boom, boom. And Wolf Grey. I just got a new bottle of Wolf Grey. Where'd I put it? It's over there. I'll get it in a minute. But, so I wound up with a lot of paints that I just had for a long time. And I wanted to get, Report. Yeah, that could be a good idea. Weather Report. I don't know. You know, we'll come up with something. Brandon Sanderson. I'm not even sure who Brandon Sanderson is. Should I know? Psycho Dolly, what's up? Desania. Desania Props is live. I would do, do me a favor, Kat. Could you do... Desania is not in here right now, but could you do a shout out to Desania Props? Spelled just like Psycho Dolly just wrote the name. Desania Props is a friend of Psycho Dolly who does some really fucking cool cosplay and prop design. I think she's streaming right now, which, I mean, maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot right here, because I'm not as attractive. I'm not. I'm sorry. Like, I know you watch this stream, and you get really sucked into the face cam, and, you know, everybody gets real thirsty watching me, and they're always hoping I'm going to take my shirt off, but I cannot compare. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. I know it's got to be sexy, or I don't eat. You know? I'm working on it. I'm trying to get sexier. And I think with each stream, we get a little sexier. Just a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's the... Yeah, there you go. Well, she's painting a Majora's Mask. If she's still going, when we're done, I'll toss some people over there. She does fantastic work.
And sometimes a tightness to my pants. This stream has a lot of the latter.
Is Chaotic Harmony going today? I never know what days he's on. Please don't take your shirt off. You're not hairy enough. That's a strange combination of sentiments. Not hairy enough. Well, first of all, that's probably true. I'm not hairy enough. I'm not, you know... I know I seem like I'm a big, tough, manly man, but I'm just, not really, you know? All the hair comes out here. It's a whole mess. Vergatarung is back. Chaotic Harmony is failing his followers. You have failed this stream. Anybody watch Arrow? I shouldn't bring up Arrow. I shouldn't bring up Arrow right now because I've got too many bad feelings around that show. But the first 2 seasons were really something. Pondburn. Howdy, partner. How you doing? Yeah, I haven't watched it since season 2. Love Felicity Smoke. Cat, ban that man. No, don't actually ban him. McBee, you know, I'm gonna have to ask you to kindly refrain from ever praising Felicity Smoke in this stream. I can't handle it. It's not gonna... no, I want to open my mouth and spew fire, but that'll melt my paints, and I don't want to do that. I'd smack it. Well, that's not what we're talking about, McBee. The question was not, do you want to fuck Emily Bett Rickards? Because the answer to that is, I mean, yeah. Like, come on. Let's be realistic here. But God, I hate her character. I loved her character in Season 1, and it just went crazy over time. River Tam is sexier, yeah, but River Tam was only in Arrow for like 3 episodes or some shit. They made her, what, Ravager? Deathstroke's daughter, and then she like got her neck snapped or something, and it was like, oh, okay, bye, I'll see ya. So long. Gonna keep modding. Alright, Psycho Dolly, you guys have fun over there. Thanks for stopping in, it's good to see you. I'd put an arrow through Laurel in episode 1. Is that a euphemism? Like, are you saying you would literally shoot her with an arrow out of a bow and kill her, or are you talking about your shaft. Because I could see one of these. Yeah, I've been working on it. Alright, let me get my wet palette going here. It's a little too much of a wet palette today. I'm gonna pull some of that out. Whoa! Alright, O'Coral. I'm gonna take away your ability to drop messages for one biddy. I'm gonna take it away because I like taking things away from O'Coral. It's a good feeling, and I feel like I want to chase that feeling a little bit, you know, to improve my own life.
If you don't respect the cat, you're gonna get the bap.
That's true, you will. Besides, O'Coral, you already got me here painting today. You mind your business. More chat, no painting yet. But see, I don't know. This is democracy in action right here, because we got one biddy to start painting. We got two biddies not to paint yet. Who do I listen to? A simple democratic principle would dictate that I listen to the person with the most biddies. And we got 3 biddies, but those biddies are really just behind a vote for me, which isn't really an opinion. It's more of just a self-aggrandizing statement. I don't know. Speedy can get it. Oh, you talking about... That's right, they made... Speedy was his sister. Oh, shit, what's that actress's name? I know it. Fuck. I like her. Yeah, she was pretty good. More Gab. Oh, Carla. Fucking dominating. Just look at that, 100 biddies. 100 biddies for me to sit here and talk. One full American dollar is more than I have ever been paid to just ramble. We're setting new records today, guys. We're blazing new trails. We're sort of pioneers on the Twitchverse. Cha-cha-cha-cha. Yes, I am printing another Tarkentown cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. I'm gonna do that a lot today. It's gonna be my new thing. You like that? Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Tarkentown Shack, which I've got one that I've primed, and it's coming out. Pond Burn with the double bit. We have a hype train going entirely based around bugging me to start painting. This may be new. I don't know. I don't know if there's any precedent for this. Best and worst stories from Basic. Ooh, that's interesting. There aren't that many interesting stories from Basic, dude. Basic was fucking stupid when I went through it. Here's that Tarkentown Shack that I got primed. This is one of the 4 variants. I'm very pleased with it. It's such a simple 3D model, but I like it. I like it a lot. I don't have many good stories from Basic, man. Let me see. Weirdest story from Basic, maybe, is when some dudes got caught in one of the unused rooms down at the end of the barracks playing... I don't know what game... They weren't playing Dungeons and Dragons. I wish I remember what game they were playing, but they had cardboard chits, and they had like a paper die that they had folded together, and they were rolling. And, I mean, I applaud their ingenuity, but it was still just strange to be in the mindset of Basic training and to walk down the hallway and look over and there's some fucking dorks with their birth control glasses on, like rolling a paper die and talking about shooting laser beams out of their assholes or whatever people do in that game. I don't know. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I don't really get down with dice games or board games or tabletop games. I fuck way too much for that kind of thing, you know? Oh, shit, Papa Bear. Papa Bear with the gift sub, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Talking smack about my BCG. I'm talking smack about everybody's BCGs, dude. They're fucking terrible. This kid peed on a ruck march. He was up front. I mean, who didn't pee on a ruck march? Were you not peeing on ruck marches? That's how I stayed warm. Fuck you, I'm having flashbacks. Flashbacks to Basic training. There we were, in the middle of what amounts to a big national park, camping and having fun, and somebody hit me with CS gas. Oh, shit, that did suck, actually, now that I think of it. Like, I say it out loud and I realize, yeah, that was terrible. That was a weird night. You know, Iguana, I'll give them that they were indestructible. That's something. I got some bases here, you guys. These are gonna be for my. You really can't see them. I probably shouldn't show them off. Well, you can kind of see them. These are. I whipped up some bases. I stayed up till like 4 a.m. last night watching Star Wars Episode 2 and 3. Like I say that and I'm immediately embarrassed about it, but I've already admitted to it. And I got some ideas for some Utapau bases. I think these are gonna come out nice for my clones, for my Clim Clam clones. So who's gonna pay me to start painting? I'm just kidding. I'll get going. I'm almost done with my coffee. I haven't hit the half-hour mark yet, so I don't feel like I've lied to anyone yet. I mean, I have lied to you, but there's nothing you can prove. Nerd. Yeah, that's probably true. Gross. That's a gross story, Carla. I mean, thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. We have it all on VOD. Oh shit, is this being recorded? Are people watching right now? Oh god, I should put some makeup on. I didn't even... Oh, this is terrible. Carlo Reynolds with 300 more biddies. Just dropping them on my head today. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't have the words. Your bunkmate coughed so hard he shit himself. That is... terrible. Roland, that's truly awful. Coughed so hard he must have really had to shit. That's, oh my god. On top of, like, being in basic and shitting yourself, I can't even imagine having to clean that up, like, go into the fucking bay bathroom, scrubbing it out in the sink while everybody's walking by you. And there goes Poopy Pants. You definitely get a nickname for something like that. Papa Bear, does your gift sub get counted towards the keep talking? Because I'm sewing, and it's hard to look up. Actually, I don't know if I let you guys know yet, but, Orthane with the biddies, thank you so much. And then we had some more from Pondburn, just bing, bang, boom, one after the other. You guys are just, like, beating the shit out of me with biddies today. We're not even, you know what, from now on, we don't paint on this stream anymore. This is just me talking. This is a just chatting stream. I'm gonna I'll change jump into my dashboard and change the name of it. Who the fuck really wants that? Eclipse. Oh shit, we just hit level 2. We just hit level 2 fucking hype train. You can't stop the hype train. I wish I could change... unsub. I wish I could change the name of the hype train. Because I got some weather puns for that too, but it won't let me. It's just the hype train. Pondburn will still keep subbing and throwing bits at me. I mean, alright, as long as I know that there's no floor on this thing, then our content is just gonna dip sharply in quality, and our humor's gonna get lower and lower brow until it's basically just like me grunting, throwing poop around the room, and telling knock knock and your mom jokes. And, we'll see how low we can get until the bits stop flowing. Oh, Coral, if you leave now, you won't get to see your Annihilator get painted. I got some freeze-dried apple bits here I'm gonna munch on quietly. Could you hear that? I'm not sure what my mic is picking up. I turned off my noise gate last time. Alright, let me get my glove on. Wolfenspawn with the biddies. My god, you people. You're too much. Thank you so much, man. His last name was Sanchez, so we got the nickname Dirty. Yeah, I can see how that might flow. It's not getting painted as it is. We've just gotten started, oh Coral. We have just gotten started. You are a needy one, you know that? That's okay, I like you anyway. That's how we like to do around here. So you're gonna be a clanner? I will never be a clanner. It's just not even remotely something that I will ever be. We can hear you chewing. Oh god, really? Alright, well I won't do that then. Alright, so I have a vague conceptual plan of attack. I'm really frustrated by something on this mech, and that is that I really thought I gave it the time that it needed to cure, and I gave it the right settings, but it has one little crack that formed underneath the leg there, and a little bit of resin that has come out of it. And thankfully it's contained to just the one area, and it's not getting any worse. So I'm going to avoid that. I'm going to hit it with some UV later to make sure that it cures up proper, and then I'm just going to paint over it. I don't think that'll be a big deal. At least it's under the leg where nobody gives a shit. Hello, what's up, Dark Fox? Good to see you. What you up to today? What's everybody up to today? I want to know what it is you're up to.
50 Shades of Coal Gray. And as he pulled his stiff bristles out of my wet fluids, I yelled out, "No, Thunderhead! You need to thin that paint first!"
Go ahead and turn your head and cough there, Chaotic. If he's not streaming, why isn't he in this stream showering praise on me? He is fucking slacking. Like crazy. Playing Minecraft with your wife on a free server. Oh, that's fun. Printing that guide chain for... That's right, Hethrir just got an Ender 3. He's taken his first step into a larger world. Alright. I gotta come up with an approach to this. I think I'm gonna lay in to the plan that I have for doing the green stripe first and foremost, and then I can go around and do the rest of my highlighting and work. Because I want to know if it's gonna work. And that is going to be an interesting process. I'm not doing my usual style of mech painting where I do all the pre-shading first. I've done some pre-shading first, but then I put down some colors that I actually want to use. Where's my white paint? I have white paint. I own white paint. I know I do. Working on a very tiny stompa. Chili dogs and burgers for dinner. God damn it. Damn it. Making me hungry. I gotta go grocery shopping tomorrow. I gotta go brave the fucking plague zombies. But, you know, my local King Supers is doing curbside pickup.
Go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
Oh, Coral, with the glorb before I've even started painting. Oh, it's ironic. Let's mix up a little bit of white so I can get started on this stripe, and then I'm going to come through with some green to color it in. This is the theory anyway. I'm going to freehand this whole thing. And if it works, I'm going to use this on most of them moving forward, but it's really just a vague notion right now, so, you know, bear with me. Lying in bed trying to make a headache go away. Well, don't listen to me then, Rollins, because I'm not going to help with that, man. I'm just going to suddenly get real loud. That's, it's not gonna make your head feel any better, bro. But, you know, thanks for hanging out despite having a headache. You guys are so inspiring, really. The number of people who, I'm always surprised when I start streaming, when I hit the, okay, let's go live. And there are people in the chat, like, already talking. Like, I'm not fucking doing anything yet. I don't even start for 5 minutes after that. But people, show up. I'm telling you, it's inspiring as all hell. Like I said, I got a vague plan for how this striping is going to go. It's mostly going to be free-handed on here. And we'll see how it takes. I've been doing more freehand lately. I want to do more freehand, though. I enjoy... I don't want to say I enjoy doing freehand, because honestly it stresses me out a little bit when I'm painting, so I tend to avoid it like everything that stresses me out. Which is, as far as I know... the best way to deal with things that stress you out is to just never ever deal with them or get over them. And keep putting them off forever and ever until they become a bigger problem. That's what I've learned throughout my life anyway. Or at least that's what I've done. But, I want to do more of it. I want to get better at doing freehand, because there are artists out there who can just sit down with a model and start painting something on it, and it's fucking amazing. I love watching that come together. And I wound up doing some more freehand on Obi-Wan Kenobi after the stream the other night, and I'm really, really, really happy with how that came out. The little Phoenix Jedi Order logo on his shoulder now looks, I dare say, pretty damn good. At least I think it does. You might disagree. We are a community of creative types. It does seem to be the truth. I've drawn a lot of remarkably creative people to the little Thunderhead community, and that is really just inspirational as hell. I love seeing what you guys are working on and the ideas you come up with. And then I love asking you questions about what I should work on, and then you give me answers, and then I just fucking rip you off. And I'm like, look at this amazing idea I came up with. And everybody praises me instead of you. Such is the nature of the internet. Meow. I'm not reading that, Matthew Steiner. Like, even, like, just, you know what you did. You know exactly what you've done, sir. We are a bit like a bunch of animals, though. I'm not gonna deny that. I mean, think about, there's an old saying I've always liked, that I would never belong to the kind of club that would have someone like me as a member. I don't know if this is going to work out, but I'm gonna keep going with it. I want to design up a merch company, thinking of bright orange. Forgot wrong. I like bright orange color schemes, I really do. Best part of painting Frankenmax is every mistake is actually not a mistake. Ha ha ha, it's genius. Genius. Just a typo, honest. Yeah, I believe you, Colonel Matthew Steiner. Just like that first stream. He's like, oh, I didn't know the camera was on. That's why you did that little dance and gave everybody a show, right? Because you didn't know the camera was on. Yeah, we believe you. We believe you, Colonel Matthew Steiner. That's what they all say. Every last one of them. Brighter like neon. Interesting. I'd love to see what you come up with. I will say that this is again that Dr. P.H. Martin's acrylic. I guess it's not an ink. I should stop calling it an ink. It's just an acrylic, but it's a very, very thin acrylic, and for work like this, it can't be beat. Orange Crush Company. That just makes me want to smoke some weed. Am I allowed to say that on Twitch? I hope I am. I'm not saying I'm going to. I'm not endorsing drug use. I mean, I would endorse drug use if they let me, but you know how things are. It's legal where you're at, so yes. Awesome. Hey. Smoke weed every day. think it's funny that that's one of the few things that is still considered essential here in Colorado right now are the dispensaries and weed stores. Like, close down everything else, bunch of shit's not essential, but you can still get your bud. But then we nearly had riots when they tried to close down the liquor stores. That was pretty funny, honestly. I mean, it makes perfect sense. You can't take away people's intoxicants. It's just... you gotta be more realistic than that. It's the puff puff pass popo. That's just the regular popo, Carla. It's like saying, here come the weed police. That's just the police. Plain old federal authorities. Well, I guess not plain old. I guess federal authorities are a little special. But these days, they're about the only people enforcing shit. This white's almost too thin. It started off just about right, and then the wet palette thinned it out even more, and now it's almost too thin. Yeah, it is. I'm going to add a little bit more. Keeps everyone home. It keeps the taxes flowing. That's true. That is very, very true. I'm spending a lot less. I realize as I say that sentence, it's just so fucking redundant. Guys, we're on lockdown and I'm spending less money. Like, yeah, no shit, jackass. Of course I am. Intoxicants are about all we have left. You know... yeah. But at least we've got that, Crossbow. You gotta count your blessings, you know? I'm being pretty sloppy with this because I'm gonna come in after the fact and clean up any parts that I don't like. I think the Annihilator was a good choice to start with, because it has this nice central ridge that I can do the stripe down. Now here's a question. Do I do the stripe just on the head going down the back, or do I do the stripe all the way up the center of the mech? Because I feel like the stripe just on the head going down the back is more like, you know, a skunk. Gotta run, dude. Have a great night. Well, it's not gonna be that great if you're not here, McBee. It's gonna be lesser. It's gonna make me cry. Aw, McBee, thanks for stopping in, man. It's always good to see you. I don't know if you're on tonight, but if you are, I'll be there. Just the head and back. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think that's gonna look the good. Look the good. That's not a fucking sentence. Look the good. What? What's wrong with me? I can't believe you guys listen to me. I can barely listen to me. Nah, it's okay, McBee. You go fucking adult the shit out of whatever it is you need to adult. I'll be here not adulting at all.
There's something about Canopian catgirls that give me that warm, fuzzy feeling. Maybe it's just my allergies.
So here's the question. Are there any Canopian skunk girls? Do you think after the invasion of the clans, the Magistracy of Canopus perhaps adapted their entertainment policies and systems to appeal to their new clanner clientele? And if so, did they make Canopian skunk girls? Where's Project Dark Fox? There's Project Dark Fox. Let's make some skunk girls happen. No, let's not do that. You're starting to talk as good as chaotic. I talk pretty good. You know, I like to use my words, and sometimes I talk real purty like. I use big long words and words with lots of syllables in them. And people say to me, Thunderhead, what you talking so pretty for? What you making me fall in love with your mouth for? You know I can't marry your mouth, so what you making me want to for? And I'm like, well, son, I just can't help it sometimes, you know? Because I got the prettiest words. The prettiest words there ever was. What the fuck am I saying? I don't know. I just don't know. Oh god, ew, yeah. I don't like that idea either. If the clanners are paying, then yes. Ooh, bear girls. Oh yeah, they're just trashy cat girls. I'd buy that. I don't know, but quit. Thanks, Tremere. Hey, good to see you, Tremere. How you doing, man? What's the state of Vampire the Masquerade these days? Weren't they releasing Vampire the Masquerade's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2? I remember seeing a Come and Get You for that a while ago, and I remember getting excited about it, but I haven't seen anything about it since. If there's a Bloodlines 2, I want to play it. The first one was fantastic, and it came out a bajillion freaking years ago. I'd buy that for $1. Oh, you just made me realize that needs to be one of my clips. I need to do a few RoboCop clips. I'd buy that for $1, and I need, ooh, guns, guns, guns. That's a good one. Clan Trash Panda. That's Thunder Trash Panda to you. Walking and talking. That's a strange thing to do while watching a stream. I think it went dead because I haven't heard anything either. Like they had, yeah, and your move, creep. Come quietly or there'll be trouble. Like they had advertisements for it up on the Epic Store not long ago, like releasing soon style advertisements. So I'm confused. I mean, I'm normally confused, but I'm extra confused in that case.
I never knew anything like this in the whole of my life. This is a glass of water, colorless, tasteless. It contains 100 gamma of LSD.
Glass of water full of LSD. That's an interesting way to start a song. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Clarence Boddicker. Book him. He's a cop killer. Fuck, I love that movie, you guys. I am a huge RoboCop fan. I really am. I watch it perhaps too often. I like it! It's a little more difficult to do the stripe through here, but it's doable. It's doable. This wet palette is really overdoing it today. I feel like I say that every time. So is it really overdoing it, or do I just suck at adapting to a wet palette? I mean, you know, one or the other. Did I like the last one? If you are referring to the one with Joel Kinnason? No, I did not. I watched that movie and I felt like this is... You know what I felt about the new RoboCop that they released? Is that if it were bad on purpose, it would in fact be brilliant. Because in many ways, the new RoboCop with Joel What's-His-Nuts is like the Ed 209 of films. In the sense that it is cheap and disposable and surface level and mostly just looks flashy and has no fucking content and generally misses the point of its own design. If it were done on purpose, I would be like, that's actually really clever, because that's how Ed 209 was, but they were really trying to make a good movie, and it just kind of came out like a big poo-poo sandwich, so... I mean, no offense if you like poo-poo sandwiches, it takes everybody, and you know, I can enjoy. Maybe you cut the crust off the sandwich for me, but... I guess it had little nuggets in there, little peanuts to crunch on, if you will. This is a terrible... You know what, let's not use that metaphor ever again. Do they make tiny tape for minis to tape off designs and such like painter's tape? Cat, they do. They do make precisely that. Like this. A whole roll of it right here. It's actually quite nice. Don't like the aftertaste of poo-poo sandwich. I don't even like the upfront taste of poo-poo sandwich. Thunderhead does not recommend that anyone eats feces. Just so we're absolutely clear since we're on the subject. Which is a weird subject to be on, but, you know, here we are. Guys, I've been watching Votoms lately. And a lot of it. I'm maybe like 20, 30 episodes in, so I guess not that much, but I watch it when I get a chance. And to everyone who recommended Votoms to me based on my like of mechs, thank you so much. Because that show is fucking cool. Like, really fucking cool. Oh my god. I don't want to say I enjoy it more than Dougram, because I really like Dougram, but it's very cool. And it's available on, if anybody's wondering, if anybody's like, where can I watch it though? Which, it's definitely what you sound like. High Dive. The High Dive streaming service has the, as far as I can tell, all of Votoms. And, how do you pronounce, I haven't started watching it yet, is it, I know that they're called Labors. The mechs in Pat Labor? Is it Pat Labor? Because it'd be Patrol Labor, right? But that's on there too. I always want to say Pat Labor, but that's obviously not the right pronunciation because they're not called Labors. Did you think about doing the first run of the stripe with the airbrush? Oh, Coral, I did, and I ended up not wanting to do that. I want to do the stripe by hand, because there's a lot of refining to go. Are you displeased with my freehanding of the stripe? Do you think it looks bad? Because it's nowhere near done. This isn't even the only color. This white is a base. There's going to be green in here. And honestly, masking this kind of a stripe is a huge pain in the ass that I don't like doing. Like, on bigger models, it's pretty easy to do. Pat Labor. Yeah, okay, I can work with that. Pat Labor. Pat Labor just sounds like, I don't know. It sounds like somebody's name. Old Pat Labor over there. What does he do? Well, you know, odd jobs, this and that. That's what we call him, Pat Labor. Oh, Coral over here thinking I'm doing a shitty job on my freehand. He's probably right. It's okay, oh Coral. Now that you've complained, I'm going to do an even worse job. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm going to put something in your mouth here in a minute. Let me tell you what. Know what I'm talking about? This is not even my final form. No, I'm not picking on you, oh Coral. I'm just being an asshole. Don't worry about me. I mean, I am picking on you a little bit, but I feel like that's part of the appeal of this stream, isn't it? That I abuse my own viewers? I mean, that's certainly what keeps me coming back. Oh, there's no paint on that at all. All about that base. You're just base coat, man. They are labors, but the show is pronounced differently. Sure, why not? Why the hell not?
Look, I'm not saying Thunderhead's trying to brush you off, but you're just base coat, man.
I don't know, Roland. I haven't, I need to go into my... You know, hold on to him. I'm gonna say, Roland, hold on to him. Because right now the voltage... viewer points reward system is in the process of getting revamped. I've got a few ideas I'm trying to work into it. I'm redoing some prices. So right now is probably not the best time to redeem them. But if you wait a little bit, there might be some fun new things on there. There might be. I'm not promising anything. saying if it were me, I'd hold on to them for a little bit. 75k bits and I can taser O'Coral. We're working on getting that system set up so that you guys can drop a certain amount of money and we can inflict physical damage on O'Coral. It's a bold new system for Twitch. But, you know, we've got that in the works. I'm trying to do less airbrushing for things like this, to answer your question from earlier also, O'Coral. Like I said, trying to do more freehand so that I get better at it, because it's the only way I'm going to get better at it, is by doing a bunch of it. I realized that as I was working on Obi-Wan. I mean, I say that like I realized it as like I didn't know the secret to getting better at something was practice. And then just the other night, I was like, whoa, I should practice things if I want to be any good at them. Like, yeah, that makes me sound like a fucking genius, doesn't it? Oh yeah, the old swamp palette over here, really doing me some favors. I would like there to be paint on my brush rather than just water, if you don't mind. It's a little broader on one side than the other, but that's okay. I can clean that up just a little bit with some little sweeping motions. Bring the pattern in a little tighter. Broaden the central stripe a bit to even it out. Almost connected this up, and then here in a minute I'll be able to come in with some blue-black and kind of clean a few of these stripey stripes up. Little stripey stripes. Fix their shape too.
Welcome back to 50 Shades of Coal Gray. And as he pulled his stiff bristles out of my wet fluids, I yelled out, "No, Thunderhead! You need to thin that paint first!"
So that is eventually going to get old, but I have to say it hasn't yet. I'm still terribly amused by that. But what doesn't get old, you know? Everything does. That's the curse of getting older. Yeah, this is Syllogy's sculpt. I did print this mini, Tremere. This was done on my Elegoo Mars. A little bit stronger white down the central stripe. It's going to take some shading to fix some of these areas where the white's pooled, but, you know, there's always a lot of finishing work. Which I usually get part of the way into before deciding to quit. What's up, Puck Duncher? Good to see you, man. Syllogy is one of the few who bothers to pose his mechs, and I do appreciate that. I have not, for a long time, been a fan of the mech warrior, and it is a mech warrior, conceit of the lock-limbed, elbows at 90-degree angle mech pose. I've never liked that pose. I really just... Good. Drives me a little nuts. That's never how I pictured mechs actually moving. Why the hell did they bother inventing things like the gyro and the Nero helmet if they were just gonna run around like a bunch of fucking boxes? If anybody's ever played Titanfall 2, that is always how, in my mind, how I imagine mechs moving. Much more smooth and fluid. Because again, that's the whole point of having a mech. If it was just going to be a boxy-ass tank, then you wouldn't bother saying things like, we invented a Nero helmet that connects the gyro to the inner ear of the pilot. Nope, that's too much. Heard me talking shit.
Suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere.
That's fair.
Not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
That's fair. Stripes are a little bit rough and they don't all line up, but, you know, I'm going with some goddamn Thunderskunk clanner painted this on mostly by hand. Because that's what happened. Some cleanup with the dark color will help a lot. I think. Let me get some of my nice, shiny, new blue-gray from Vallejo Model Air. Like how the spider moves in HBS Battletech game. Yeah, it does. It runs with its arms clunk, 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 and I'm like, well, why don't you... Like, that doesn't even make any sense, really, because it's not like human beings swing their arms when they walk for fucking fun. That's how a bipedal frame balances itself. When you're shifting weight from one leg to the other, your arms swing in order to move the weight of your body and keep yourself counterbalanced when your legs are moving. I mean, ask any runner. And so to see a humanoid frame like that, running along... What's up, Necrobob? Good to see you. With the arms locked at the side, I'm like, that makes no fucking sense at all, when balance is the whole concern. I mean, I understand why it happened. It happened because they were making a video game out of something that was way too complicated to be a video game at the time, so they had to sort of strip out a lot of what makes a mech a mech. And, I mean, that's why you have no rear-facing weapons, that's why, I mean, that's why it just basically became an arcade shooter. I mean, as much as I played MechWarrior 4, I've always had my issues with the MechWarrior games, but, I mean, me having a problem with something popular, that's unheard of. But, you know, we accept these conceits because they are making a video game out of it and because they couldn't do it any other way. But nowadays, it's just done because that's how MechWarrior did it, and not because the games actually have to do it that way, in my opinion. That's silly. And it definitely shouldn't translate over into the models, into us making mechs less mobile and less agile than they should be based on how they're written in the fiction. Again, I feel like the best example of how I always pictured mechs moving in my head when I read about them as a kid, and when I imagined myself being one as I ran around playing fucking... Look, Mom, I'm a Warhammer with carpet tubes on my arms. Titanfall 2. Look at how the Titans move. Is very much what I was picturing. I need to extend this one a little bit. It does not have enough coverage. That's okay. That's the thing with freehanding that I'm discovering. A decent way to be okay at it and yet practice. You just have to be okay with the idea that you're going to come in and you're going to touch up your own work a bunch of times until you get all the lines where you want them to be. That's just the nature of the beast, you know? That's how I eventually got Obi-Wan to look decent. Have I shown you guys the... After the last stream I came in and I did some touch-up work. I still need to actually do some more work on his face, but I think the Jedi Order symbol came out pretty nice. And this was a product of just, oh, that part's fucked up, paint white over it, try it again. Oh, I fucked it up again, paint white over it, try it again. Over and over and over and over. And it came out pretty good. I managed to get the little feathers on the wings and everything. And then I got done with it, and I immediately thought, why didn't I print this as a decal? And then I said, shut the fuck up, Thunderhead, you're practicing freehand. And we carried on. I like General Sassy Pants. I'm glad you like General Sassy Pants, Cat. I've got another General Sassy Pants. And, would you like one? Because I'm thinking about doing another one. I'm thinking about doing a General Sassy Pants. You know, I painted this one for your birthday, Cat. And, I'd like you to have an Obi-Wan. So I think you might get one. You think so? See, I wasn't sure.
You don't respect the cat, you're gonna get the bat.
You gonna get it. WJ not doing anything today because I'm sore from yesterday's walk, but at least I did something, including quasi-fixing my missile launcher with liquid green stuff. Looks a bit off, but it'll work. 30-25 mechs are banged up anyway. I like that line of thinking, WJ. The hair, I want to make darker. I want to make the hair darker, and I want to do some more work on his face. His eyes came out okay, if you can see them. But I'm not very good at doing eyes. I wasn't really sure about the OSL. I don't feel like it's perfect, but I don't want to do too much. Because the fact is, lightsabers don't, even in the movies, lightsabers don't cast much light until they need to. Like, oh, the lights are out in this scene, and they're the only light source, and suddenly they emit a shit ton of light. But for the most part, they don't actually emit that much light. But I thought a little bit on his face, a little bit on his shoulder, and a little bit along his arm just because it was so close. I feel like that kind of sells the effect. I'm not really very good at doing OSL yet, but I just do it with some simple glazing, and I'm still working on getting better at it. I got some bases in the work for this guy, so we'll see Obi-Wan and some clones popping up on Instagram and on the Discord before long. Oh, I missed something from you, WJ. Pardon. UPS just dropped off a package for me. Hooray! Oh, got back to painting yesterday after several weeks or a month. Well, welcome back, WJ. Nearly finished basing your awesome one coat of wah flesh. Got done what nearly a dozen coats of Americana couldn't. You know what the price of that is, WJ. I always like the movement of the Macross fighters. I do too. You know what I really like? And let me just tell you, WJ, there's a price. There's a price. There's always a price. This is Thunderhead Stream. And there's always a price. Ass, gas, or posting in stream review. Not ass gas. That's not okay. Those are two separate. Don't fart in like record it and then post it. That's not what I'm saying. Please. But go to the stream review and post some pictures of what you've been working on, WJ, because I want to see it. I don't just want to see it, I demand to see it. I gotta clean this brush. I got a bunch of paint down in the ferrule. Ferrule. What the French call a certain... I don't know what. I like the movement of the Votams, Armored Troopers. Like a whole lot. And every time I watch Votams, I get more and more excited for my Heavy Gear Blitz stuff to arrive, because the Votam ATs are very much like Gears. Very much like Gears. All the way down to the way that they've got, like, tank treads mounted in their foots. The first time I was watching Votams and one of them pulled that maneuver where it's like they roll up and one of their feet fires down these anchor bolts into the ground and then the other foot runs the tank treads in the bottom of the foot so the whole machine swings around with a huge amount of torque and he like levels a guy with a fucking punch. I was like, oh my god, this show. I'm gonna watch this whole fucking show. Civilization falls apart and you're not infected, I'll let you join my fiefdom. Well, thank you, WJ, I appreciate that. I mean, how good a fiefdom can you have if you don't know how to wire your phone to your PC, though? That's like Warlord 101, man. Where do you see the new coal gears? New coal? What are we talking about, Roland? If Civilization quasi-reforms, I'll get my nephew to go with me to Best Buy to get proper wiring to transfer photos. Oh, that'd be nice. What's up, Evil Honk? Good to see you. The wastelands of Corona Earth. Best Buy is the Comstar Adeptus Mechanicus. God have mercy upon us all. The Cursed Earth. Inside the boundary walls, a cursed city. Choking. Convulsing. Breaking under its own weight. It's a little rough. That's what the tech priests are for. The fucking genius desk or whatnot. What does Best Buy have? Are they the Genius Desk, or they're the Geek Squad, or something like that? I've known a few guys who've worked at that desk. They have nothing but terrible things to say about their own customers. They're such a bunch of charmers. As they say in IT, the customer is always an asshole. I'm gonna have to thicken this back up. I don't like how that went. I have paint and booze. I'm happy. I got part of that. I've been out of booze for a little while. I need to actually go to one of the liquor stores and pick some shit up. But it's the funny thing, because liquor stores are one of the only things open, it also has the most people. So I always find myself weighing that. I'm like, alright, so anytime I go out, there's the potential of me getting some shit coming down with the Rona. I just don't know if I want to get drunk that bad. Eventually, the shakes will overtake me, and then I'll have to. Because I'm an American. There's not a one of us that isn't mildly addicted to alcohol. That's not evening out, and I want it to. So I come up this far. And just redo that stripe for the most part. Thicken it back up from there. That'll look good. Take the top off this next one to change the angle. I'm really, guys, like, I know this is probably some of the worst painting I've done on here. I don't do much freehand, so this is, you know, I'm learning as I go. I'm just going to keep fucking with it until it looks like something I like. I feel like that's the only way to really do freehand. Let's just keep going over it, a bit at a time, evening things out, leveling them. I'm going to have to redo this entire one. Same for this one, the angle's wrong. Drive-through and delivery booze huts. Yeah, I heard they're doing something like that around here, but I'm not sure which ones are actually doing them. Alright, back to white for a bit. I'd love a scotch, but my check liver light is on. Doc is pissed off at me right now. Yeah, I know the feeling. What can I do to get healthier, Doc? Have you tried losing weight? So what can I do to get healthier, Doc? Besides that. Well, the only thing you can do is go on a diet. Well, I guess I'm gonna die. I had a little bit of that a little while back. When I was drinking heavily, I had some fat deposits develop on my liver, and I pretty much cut it out immediately. And that did help, apparently. None of these stripes are lined up on this side. I feel like I've just got to go back over all of them. That's irritating to me, but you know, if you got to do it, you got to do it. That one's way too high. So be it. It's gonna look better for it, I think. You know, they don't all have to match up perfectly, but I want them to match up somewhat, just not be obviously wrong. Having a paint job be not obviously shitty is nice. It can be shitty, as long as it's kind of subtly shitty. There, that's getting closer. I'll clean this up a bit in that case. I miss San Antonio. Not like that much. I'm really glad I'm not living there right now, because I lived in the middle of the fucking city when I was there. And obviously right now is not a great time to be in the middle of any cities. But I like the town, and you know what San Antonio has? Is a fucking fantastic gaming community. Like, better than almost any city I've ever lived in my life. Really, so many game stores, so many gaming communities, almost any game there is, you can find a game of in San Antonio.
Look, if this conversation gets more about how you feel about something, I'm gonna have to start charging you 50
Why am I not
so
surprised?
I
It's so choral. Why am I not surprised? The trick I'm learning to freehand is you really can't worry about your first draft. You know? Because that's what the initial paint that goes down is. It's your first draft on what you're painting. Until there's actually paint down, you can't see what you're doing all that well, and you can't refine it. So you throw something down no matter how shit it looks, and then just tweak it. And just keep tweaking it until it turns into something that you like the look of. I say as I freehand badly. Because chances are I'm going to spend a lot of this stream working on this stupid fucking stripe. But that's okay, because this is going to be most of the paint job. I know, Okoro, you wanted me to do a pinstripe down one side, and we're going to do that too. But a lot of the focus is going to be on getting this skunk stripe just how I want it to be. And I mean, once that's done, then it's mostly edge highlighting and touch-ups. It's not quite how I want it to be. It's not how I want it to be. Why can't it just be like I want it? Why can't I just wish good paint jobs into existence, you guys? Somebody get on that. Give me like a paint genie or something. See, I'm okay with it being a little scraggly or ratty looking, because skunks are scraggly and ratty. How am I not matching that up? It goes straight across. Okay. Symmetry is hard. That's closer. That's not bad. That's set. That's definitely a lot closer than I was. You are the paint djinn. Like an asshole genie? That's what they are. Isn't a djinn like basically an asshole genie? And B. Toby, Annihilator's your next print. Gonna be a command back in my Wolf's Dragoons company. That should be interesting. I can't stand Facebook. Screw Zuckerberg. You know, WJ, if you want an argument, you're gonna have to pick another subject. According to all of the video games I've played that have featured djinn, which includes such well-researched and culturally relevant titles as Heroes of Might and Magic 3, djinn are the asshole genies. And as we all know, those games are very culturally accurate. I like this. This song has a storm in the background that's so appropriate. Maybe that's what I should do. Instead of having music, we could just do like an ASMR of a thunderstorm in the background, right? Ooh, I would actually like painting to that. That sounds nice. Ugh. I want to just ruin everything I've done real quick. Why don't I do that?
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
We're trying to make our own lines. That's what we do around here on Thunderhead Stream. We make our own fucking lines. We don't paint inside no goddamn lines. I don't want to put too much of a curvature on these little flares. I want them to have a little bit of one, but not too much of one. You know what I should do is I should curate like a little music channel for my stream that's all synthwave songs with thunder in the background of them. There can't be that many of those. I would have like a handful of songs that keep playing and eventually I'd get sick of them. Oh my god. I was going to do the same part of the mech like 4, 5, 10, 20 times. No big deal. The rest of the stripes I'm not as concerned with, but I want the ones on the head to look good. Where we're painting, we don't need lines. Where we're going, we don't need medium lasers to overheat. Oh, the aerogel? It's my understanding that, yeah, aerogel is super fragile. That's just the nature of it, because it's mostly air, you know? What's up, White Wolf? Good to see you, man. Yeah, we're working on something a little beefy today, and doing a bad job at it. I know what I'll do. I'll stream something that I'm terrible at. That will impress everyone. Could you put aerogel in a hexagonal clear tray and then put a lid on top of it? I mean, maybe. I don't know, WJ. You'd really have to experiment with that, man. I don't know of anybody who's done that. I haven't worked with it myself, so I couldn't possibly say. I just use, like, water effects. I don't have much experience with resin, really want to learn. For water effects, the only thing I've really used is like Woodland Scenics Realistic Water, which is good stuff, don't get me wrong. But I just don't have that much experience with doing it. Oop. Maybe a little aggressive. That angle is not the same at all. I've just redone this like 4 times and it looks shittier than ever. Oh, it's embarrassing. Because I am apparently incapable of painting a simple shape symmetrically. But honestly, guys, you should have seen me. Like, you saw me starting that Jedi Order symbol on Obi-Wan the other night, but you really didn't see me finish it off, and yeah, it was a lot of this. It was a lot of, oh, nope, that sucks, do it again. Oh, nope, that sucks, do it again. Fuck you. You fucking brush. Looks decent from the front. It's just not quite coming together. Gotta keep working. That's looking a little bit better. Oh yeah, I'll get right on that, Coral. This should be no big deal. I can sharpen those points. It's actually not looking too bad. Sharpen the points and thicken up the bases a bit. I love my white paint just turns to pure fucking water every time I leave it alone for a minute. Now we're getting somewhere. This is starting to look a little bit better. Or at least close enough for me to call it decent and start doing some more detailing, which will draw some attention away from how wildly fucking asymmetrical it is. I'm going to try something real quick before I go any further. I just want to hit this guy. With a touch of green, just so that I can see the colors next to each other and get a feel for how I'm moving forward. Not a lot of green, really very, very little. I just want to see if this is the green that I really want. You're right, it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. That's really just my fucking OCD making me want to do that. The green is not showing up in the camera as much as it is in person. It's really getting washed out by the camera, but it's very vivid in person. Trying to find a good angle. You can kind of see it from here. I'm liking it. Wouldn't it be better if it was asymmetrical? Well, you say that now. Where were you when I was coming up with this plan, man? Webcams try to filter out green, keeps faces from looking sick. Yeah, that's probably what's going on. Because it's a lot greener than it looks right here. Like, a lot greener. I'll have to dig into my settings and see if I can't get it to stop trying to do that. I'm just doing this so that I can see what the final product might look like a little bit more. Clean it up with some white. Obviously, just watching and waiting for you to mess up. Obviously. Well, I'm always glad to entertain. Even if it's at my own expense. Arguably, especially when it's at my own expense.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and lord that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
Anywhere at all. I actually really like this now that I got the green down. I think it looks pretty damn cool. It's vicious. With some more shading and highlights, I think it's really going to look nice. So knowing that this is greener than it is appearing in the camera, this is the look that I kind of had in mind. I don't know, I might carry the green down into the little feathers, just like a little bit of it. I don't know. Verg, I'm thinking about leaving some of the white. I'd like some of the white to be there around the green. I want there to be both. It's all bullshit anyway. Yeah, you know how it is. Everything's bullshit.
And so I painted on some metallics. Bitches love metallics.
I love the metallics. Nobody's gonna piss me off by talking shit about Battletech lore, because Battletech lore, as much fun as we have with it, it's complete fucking nonsense. It's one of the reasons that I get kind of as annoyed as I do with people who get really kind of anal retentive about, oh, does that mesh with the lore? Like, you really have to understand. Being into any sci-fi property at all. This includes Star Wars, this includes Star Trek, this includes everything. It's as if people forget that the lore can change like that. Like that. If whoever is in charge of the writing decides that he wants things to be a certain way, the entire universe will reconfigure to make that happen. That's the nature of fiction, man. And the lore should always change to facilitate, you know, quality. You shouldn't be afraid to go back and retcon things just because you did them dumb a long time ago. Woot woot, 2 months. Oh shit, downslide with the 2-month sub. Thank you so much. 2 months. God, we've been doing this a while, haven't we? None of you guys are going to stay subbed for a year. I don't see that happening. I was setting up my sub badges the other day, and I stopped at, like, I think 6 months. Because who the hell is going to be subbed for longer than that? Let's be realistic. That's crazy. It's crazy pants. You're going to need some cleanup up here. All these ones are going to need cleanup. Get off my elbow. Goddamn paper towel. Sticking to me. Cat. Carla. Bueller. 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 O'Coral, myself, and probably Cat Ion. Is that going to be the crew? I can see that. It pretty much matches up with what's been going on so far. Well, I'll be happy to have anybody, really. If you guys want to stick around, if you just want to hang out and not sub, I'll still appreciate your presence. Not like you don't exist unless you're giving me money. Might have to make us all mods in your fucking dreams, O'Coral. I mean, no offense. No offense, O'Coral. You being one of my favorite regulars, for whom I'm painting a mech right now, but also, fuck you. Just a little bit, in the most loving possible way. I am a parasite. Thunderhead will never be rid of me. Well, you know, I hear they make some antivirals for that, or at least something that'll make Cat Ion sick enough that I can pass her. Question is, do I want to? Thicken the green. I just want to leave a little bit of white outside of it. O'Coral acting shocked. Acting shocked. Khajiit is innocent of this crime. O'Coral has wares if you have coin. In my head from now on, O'Coral is just Maik the Liar. Oh, COVID's gone because some gamers said so. So I did hear, and this was a huge relief to me, you guys. Somebody was telling me just the other day that the current pandemic viral outbreak is not actually real. There is no virus, and this was a huge relief. It turns out that 5G cell towers are being used to mutate the DNA of people in close proximity to them, and that the pandemic scare is just a government cover-up being used to distract from the fact that they are mutating our DNA with radio waves. Despite the fact that, of course, that's not how radio waves work, that's not how electromagnetic radiation works, that's not how ionized versus non-ionized radiation works, and despite the fact that that's not how genetic mutation works, apparently all of those things are true. So, you know, relax. Just to clarify, that is, batshit fucking crazy. I had to remove someone from my friends list for that one. So I don't want to encourage too much COVID talk in chat, because it's just not a very fun subject. But I'm willing to indulge a little bit. And you know I like my subjects to be fun. I mean, you know, COVID's interesting, but it's no Willem Dafoe's giant penis. This green is looking better the more layers I do of it. And it's kind of inspiring me. I need more of it, though. More green! WJ, I agree with you. I really do. The problem is people. But that is precisely the level of discussion that I don't really want to get into here because, frankly, because I could go off on it for a few hours.
Welcome back
and
to 50 Shades of Cold Gray. And as he pulled his stiff bristles out of my wet fluids, I yelled out,
I shouldn't lick
"No,
the microphone.
Thunderhead! You need to thin that paint first!"
No, baby, we're not thinning the paint. We're going in raw. And the truth is that I could talk for hours and hours and hours about how people are stupid and I loathe them, but that's not interesting content. You don't really want to hear that, do you? I would rather that we spend our time here together, this brief time that we have together, focusing on the paint. Carla Reynolds with the gift sub. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. You guys, honestly, you guys are the fucking best. You're cooler than almost anybody else that I know. Almost anybody. Almost. Every single one of you. Except O'Coral. Yeah, COVID-19 is the viral symptom. The disease, if you will. Sentient Pickle's unstoppable now with the sub. Jesus. Do Canopians hug? I would imagine. I don't know. Maybe they have like a no hugging policy. You know, it's like a... I mean, you know how things are in cannabis. They might just be like, nothing with the mouth. Well, this conversation just got stranger somehow. It was already pretty odd. And now here we are, talking about Canopian cat girls butt sniffing. Canopian cat girls are fun and all, but I think the reality of that situation in the grim, gritty version of the Battletech universe, when we take it down to brass tacks, is that's much more of a genetic slavery situation, which is kind of depressing. And by kind of, I mean really quite. I assume that as I do more of this, I'll get better at it. I'll have to, because I'm fucking terrible at it right now. Glad my little one's already asleep. Well, don't put me on the speaker system. Just don't do that, and everything will be okay, Kursala. It's not that I try to be crass and disgusting. It's that I'm a naturally crass and disgusting person. Sort of like how I don't have to put any effort into being petty or vindictive. I'm just petty and vindictive by nature. This is a ridiculous color scheme, by the way. I think it'll look better once I get some highlights coming in. I might take a break from the stripe for a little bit just because it's making me go cross-eyed and work a little bit on the rest of the mech and then come back in and do some more cleanup later. And maybe worry less about it being perfectly symmetrical, because that doesn't seem to be an option that I have. I'm far too moron-handed to make that happen. Which, if you're not familiar with the phrase, is a disease in which one is stricken with the hands of a moron. I suffer from it quite regularly. I also have a mild case of donkey brains. By the way, how you doing? How you doing, Sentient Pickle? Wait, is this button still working? No, that button isn't working. Is this one? Hey! I redid my buttons a little bit, and every time I redo something, something stops working. In this case, it's my Palpatine do it! That button doesn't work now. I'll get it fixed. I like that one too much to lose it. God, this mech's gonna look like shit. Oh, hopefully it'll look better after I do my cleanup. This is embarrassing.
There's something about Canopian catgirls that give me that warm, fuzzy feeling.
Something.
Or maybe it's just my allergies.
I'm gonna switch off to doing some edge highlights. Maybe as the rest of the mech comes into focus, I'll like it a little better. I'm gonna bust out some coal black. I don't think I should ever make that sound again. Almost looks like a xenomorph. It does have a big goofy head on it. Like a banana-headed alien. Booga 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 boo. Stop. No. You know what? I'm gonna turn off clips. I don't trust you guys anymore. I will not be made fun of in this matter. I am a serious and important man. And I will be respected. Super, super serious, you guys. Too late.
I'm gonna have to start charging you 50 C-bills per hour so I can listen to it.
Serious and important man that makes funny noises. I do make some funny noises. You know, I've been remiss. I realize I've been remiss. Colonel Matthew Steiner has been in this chat this entire time, and you know what I haven't done? Cat, Would you give a shout out to Colonel Matthew Steiner? What with him being another Battletech painting streamer who's also been working on some revelations lately. If you enjoy Battletech paint jobs, if they make you things a little tight in the pants, go check out Colonel Matthew Steiner. I don't know if he's established a schedule yet. He hasn't been on a whole lot, but he's been kind of ramping up into it. And it would be awesome of you to give him a follow and check him out.
You know, there's something about mech paint jobs
there
that really just brings a tear to my eye.
There it
and
is.
Sometimes a tightness to my pants. This stream has a lot of the latter.
A lot of the latter. I wish I had a voice like Chaotic Harmony. That voice drops my panties, and I don't even wear panties. At least not, you know, outside of Wednesdays. Painting the weapons and undercarriage coal black. What's the rest of it going to be? It is going to be worked up in gray. In lighter gray tones. It is meant to be a black color. In fact, the rest of it is going to get gray to white highlights and then probably a black wash. So we're going to have a contrast between... I mean, they're both going to be cool, so it's not going to be a heavy contrast, but the undercarriage is going to be much, much bluer than the rest of it. I could have done the undercarriage in lighter colors, but I don't want to, so I'm not gonna. But, you know, if we do this and the contrast doesn't work out the way that I want, it's pretty easy to come back and redo the coal black undercarriage bits. And the weaponry in a different color. But this is where I want to start for now. And I'm going much, much bluer than I usually do with the undercarriage in this case. Normally what I'll do is I'll take coal black and I'll mix in a bit of actual black to make it more of a blue-gray. In this case, I'm sticking with the blue of the coal black, and I'm going to move it up through kind of teal highlights. I think that'll look good. I think it'll look good. I don't know. What the fuck do I know? I mean, you know, WJ, you can talk about whatever you want within reason, man. I feel like you can govern yourself, and as long as you accept that it's possible that you might go beyond the remit of this stream and you accept the moderation of Kat, because ultimately it's going to be her judgment. So, you know, talk about anything you like, just don't be irritated if Kat decides that you might have gone a bit too far. Just use that as a guide. You know, like a Roomba. You know how a Roomba just sort of goes around the room and knocks into the walls and then turns and it knows, oh, well, that's the boundary. I'm not supposed to go past that. Be a Roomba. No, WJ, I don't think you're in the wrong. So, I'm only now reaching a point where I don't want to be like, as a streamer, I have all these opinions, because I'm a very, very new streamer. I really am, and all I can really give opinions on are my approach to streaming. But my thoughts on the subject are... I mean... Does a streamer have to entertain you all the time? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Any streamer can do anything they want with their stream within the bounds of Twitch, TOS, or whatever platform it is that they're on. However, if they want to have viewers, they need to be conscious of what those viewers want to see. Now, there are many things I want to say at any given time. I don't say a lot of them. Not here on the stream, because it's not an appropriate forum for them. It just isn't. There are lots of things I want to complain about very loudly that I don't, because it's not appropriate, because you either don't want to hear it, or just, like I said, it's not the place for it, because I know what I want this stream to be, and purely me whining about the things in the world that I dislike is certainly not that. And complaining about my personal relationships is certainly not that either. I don't really, I mean, you might notice I don't really talk that much about my personal relationships here on this stream. And I hope you don't take any offense when I say it's because it's none of your fucking business. I don't think you want it to be your business. So spending streams whining about your ex-girlfriend to the detriment of your audience, to the point that your audience thinks, okay, enough, fucking move on. That's his mistake, in my opinion. But who knows, maybe he just wants the audience who wants to hear him whine about his personal life. And if that's the case, then more power to him, you know? You can do whatever the hell you want. Just don't expect people to stick around for it. I don't expect you guys to stick around for much. I'm surprised that you stick around as it is. So, you know, shit. And I keep things pretty mild. Most of the time. Then somebody's like, what about The Mandalorian? And I'm like, fuck you. Oop, don't knock over the drink. You and me both, but I shut up. Yep, that's how I view it too. Like, man, I got lots of things I want to say, but I shut the fuck up about it because who the hell wants to hear that? That's not what I'm here to do. That's not what any of us are here to do. I am here to paint. And bullshit. Bullshit about fun things. What's up, Smack Weasel? By the way, I do not just stream. I do not, if you should encounter a weasel, I don't recommend smacking it. First of all, it'd be very difficult to get your hands on the weasel to smack it, and secondly, an angry weasel is not something you really want to deal with. Like, it might sound funny when you say it, oh, an angry weasel, but that's because you've never faced off against a smacked weasel, you know? By the way, welcome, Smack Weasel. Part of enjoying chatting with people includes the possibility of them talking about things I may not be interested in, but I pay attention nonetheless for those times when the situation is reversed. See, Sentient Pickle, I can respect that. Because that's the golden rule in action. And guys, I believe in the golden rule. Unless it's Hethrir. Because that rat bastard goes and says things like that in my chat. Oh, Hethrir. You know me too well. Should I stream? Oh, Coral? Let me ask you. Let me answer your question with a question. Do you want to stream? Come here to get away from my thoughts. That's fine, Carly. You can come here to get away from your thoughts and get well acquainted with my thoughts. I am happy to provide them. What am I doing? Oh yeah, that's right.
You could just go ahead and board that paint on anywhere.
I will.
Like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
Oh, Coral, if you want to stream, you should. It's that simple. Will you enjoy it? That is a question that will not be answered until you do it. I didn't know. When I started on a whim because my boy, Daylate Gamer, streams. And I've known Daylate Gamer since we were about 13 years old. Probably earlier than that. I should figure out precisely when it is that we met. It was around the same time that Fable 1 came out, so it's been some time. But my boy Daylate Gamer streams, and I started watching him, and I was shocked at how much I enjoyed myself. Hanging out in chat, bullshitting with him, trolling him, etc., etc., you know, as friends do. And he encouraged me to give it a try. And I thought to myself, other people have recommended streaming to me before in the past. It's happened a number of times, and I've always really just brushed it off. But right now, with this much time on my hands, what do I have to lose? I had the PC for it. and all I needed was a couple of cameras, so I thought, you know, I'll invest $75, and if it goes poorly, it goes poorly. But it hasn't. It really, really hasn't. This part, maybe? Yeah, I feel like this whole assembly. I mean, you know, you guys be the judge. You tell me if it's going well or not. But from my end of things, I've been having fun, and I've been meeting new people who I don't immediately loathe, which is a good day for me. I, prior to this, was genuinely a little bit depressed about having moved away from my gaming community in San Antonio. I had a really good gaming community down there, and a number of them are here in this chat fairly regularly. I don't think Greg the Salt Miner or Play and Win are here right now, but when they're around, it's a lot like it used to be just hanging out in the shop, because it was always us, and it was always games. Except this is more productive than I was back then. It used to be I'd bullshit all day, then go home and paint. Now I bullshit while I paint. Fable, The Lost Chapters. For my 8 years on Twitch, I've noticed that streamers get the community they cultivate. So if you don't want a certain thing in chat, don't say it yourself. Sentient, that's something that I have tried to put into practice. There are certain subjects that I will touch on simply because what I don't want to do is outright ignore people. I don't want you to come in here and be like, hey, is this okay for me to chat about? And me look at what you say and then just look away and pretend like it didn't happen, because we're all adults here. Well, I hope we're all adults here. We might not all be adults. I hope most of us are adults here. And, you know, you guys can regulate yourself to a certain point, but that is absolutely the truth.
I'm not saying Thunderhead's trying to brush you off.
Sometimes I am.
Base coat, man.
When a motherfucker's base coat, sometimes they need to be brushed off. Know what I'm saying? I should never talk like that. I think I've done most of the undercarriage that I can reach and or want to do. I'm gonna do some highlighting on the gray. So you're saying I have a face for radio? Ha 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 hoo hee hee ha ha. No, I don't know what the fuck your face looks like, O'Coral. It could be gorgeous for all I know. You could be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I wouldn't know. Not until you start streaming. And then it's going to be non-stop insults from me. It's going to be terrible. So I'm going to lay into my highlights, and I'm going to start with a thinned out Vallejo Model Air Pale Blue Gray. Armored Company finished after 4 tanks. That's fucking fantastic. I'm glad to hear it, Roland. Sentient Pickle's getting real over here. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. That's terrible. I'm glad to hear that you're seeing someone about it, though. That's, I mean, you know, tragedies like that are unavoidable. Well, I mean, that's a broad statement. Sometimes they're avoidable. I mean, there's a lot of back and forth depending on the situation. But, you know, we don't have a lot of control in our lives over when things like that hit us. But we have control over when we get help. I'm a big believer in therapy, you guys. No one should be too proud to get help for the problems that they have. We're all human. And humans are difficult beasts with complex problems. But I'm glad to hear that. And Sentient, I mean, thank you, man. Like, I appreciate that you feel I'm doing something for you and that I'm helping you, and I like that. I'm glad that I'm able to do that, but recognize that from my perspective, I'm glad that you're here for entirely selfish reasons, for my own sake. We thrive off one another, man. That's the nature of socialization. That pale blue gray, by the way, is way too light. I am going to go back to a medium gunship gray and see if that's a bit more to my liking. And we're social creatures. Yeah, the lore of Battletech has never really met up with the reality of the game, WJ. And the simple fact of the matter is that, have you ever tried Battle Troops? I don't think I have. But, you know, the focus of the full Battletech game is, of course, on battle mechs. Because that's the big draw for most people. So I understand why that's the case. But I'm with you that I wish there was a bit more focus on combined arms. This might be too dark. Maybe I mixed the two, and somewhere in the middle lay what I'm looking for. Battletech painting was the bait, the community and me were the hook. Ooh, I like hearing that. You know how that makes me feel, me being the hook. It's just for you, Sentient. I'm just going to mix these two colors together because, in theory, what comes out should be exactly the highlight that I'm looking for. Should be. We'll see. Also help to water it down a bit. Yeah, I haven't touched Battle Troops. It's an interesting system, but man, there's so many systems out there to try. I'm looking forward to getting into Heavy Gear Blitz. I like a lot of what's going on in the rules system. I can't really judge it before I've tried it, obviously. But looking at the rules, I think there's a lot of real clever interpretation of common game tropes. Like pre-measuring in Heavy Gear Blitz, I was looking at the rules, and you can pre-measure during your turn, but only from one of your models that has a sensor range, and you can measure within the sensor range. So it's like, oh, your pre-measuring is using the passive sensors or the active sensors on your gear. That's fucking cool. That's a really clever way of working in game mechanics. But I haven't like played a lot of it, so the rest of the rules might suck. I don't know. Combined Arms is one of the reasons why I play Alpha Strike. I've heard that a lot, Roland. I've heard a lot of people get into that. For the sake of the Combined Arms gameplay. Play that with very few mechs. Mostly they'd be light mechs if we can get them. See, I like light mechs and I like infantry. I do. But I wind up playing heavy mechs a lot of the time just out of, I don't know, laziness, I guess. Classic Battletech is a very crunchy system, and it's difficult to play anything other than fairly simple mechs in it. But I still like the granularity of it. It's probably the best content I've done all stream, right off camera. The minis are pricey. You don't know of any STLs. Well, the good news is I don't want to do STLs of Heavy Gear Blitz, and I only say that because I like that it is manufactured semi-domestically. It's done in Canada, I believe, so it's not purely domestically for my sake, but it's fairly. And I'd like to support smaller producers like DreamPod 9, rather than take money away from them. I don't feel the same way about people like Games Workshop because they're rolling in stacks of cash and making consumer-unfriendly decisions with that cash, so, you know, fuck them. And I don't care as much about FFG because FFG is getting that... They've got a Star Wars contract, for fuck's sake. They're rolling in cash, comparatively speaking. Well, they're not really rolling in cash. They recently had to shut down one of their RPG departments, but if they're not rolling in cash, that's entirely their fault, because the Star Wars IP is a license to print money. It is indeed the Thunderskunk Annihilator. What's up, Steiner Miniatures? Cat, could I get a shout-out for Steiner Miniatures? Here we have another very talented Battletech painter. Right now, he is, like me, in a little bit of a Battletech slump, so he's been working on some other stuff like Warhammer 40k, but the Battletech figures that he does are phenomenal. If you like watching mechs get painted, I strongly suggest you give a follow to Steiner Miniatures. Not to be confused with Colonel Matthew Steiner, even though I will confuse them for one another over and over and over again. Guys, I don't think I've mentioned it in a little bit, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring up the stream review channel again. If you are in this stream right now and you are not familiar with our stream review, allow me to familiarize you with it. We have a channel in the Thunderhead Discord, which is called Stream Review, and it is dedicated to the simple act of viewers posting pictures of their own creative works to be shared with the community towards the end of the stream. Near the end of the stream, I will switch over to Discord, and we will go through the picture gallery and just briefly take a look at everything everybody's working on and talk about it a little bit. It's a bit that we've been doing for a while, and I really... It's one of my favorite things. It's like one of my favorite parts of the stream. Not just because I suddenly don't have to paint anymore, because I like painting, but because I really enjoy seeing what you guys are working on. And the notion that you're working on it at the same time as me, I don't know, it makes me feel connected. And we've been talking about community a bit today, you know? Community's important. Even for people like me, who, like, I am straight up a fucking misanthrope, you guys. I really am. In person, I am an asshole. I'm bitter, and I'm angry, and I get irritated by the simplest, most innocuous things. But for whatever reason online, I guess I'm more friendly. Maybe I should see somebody about that. I don't know. But my point is that community's important, really, not just ragging on myself for not getting along with folk. So, if you're in the stream right now and you've been working on anything creative that you'd like to share, I would love it. I would love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. If you would go to the Discord, pop into the stream review channel, and just show me what you're working on. Show me what you're working with. Review's my favorite part. You know, you've always got some good ones for it, Kursala. Usually start later on days. Yeah, Steiner tends to go pretty late at night. That's another thing. If you're looking for a late night stream, this dude will be painting at like 1, 2 a.m. and shit. He's a fucking night owl. Which I appreciate because I am also a night owl. And it gives me something to watch. I've been thinking about doing... I'm not promising anything. When I say this, let me lay out a disclaimer. This is not me saying I'm going to do something. This is just me musing. I've been thinking about doing some later impromptu streams as I work on my Star Wars Legion stuff, because the one thing I don't want to do is have this channel get taken over by fucking Star Wars. That's not what I'm looking to have happen. But I am going to be painting a lot of it. And, you know, what's the point of doing anything if I don't have an audience, right? No, but really, if I'm up late at night and I'm painting, I might feel like popping the camera on. So, you know, just, if you're interested, keep your eyes open. Maybe we can do a little bit of Thunderhead After Dark. Kursala, am I cynical? Lord of Hethrir, am I a cynical guy, do you think? You think that I indulge in cynicism every now and then? You've known me for a long time. You've known me for longer than I've known Day Late Gamer. You hear my unfiltered rants. Will you have pants on during these After Dark streams? I don't have pants on right now, so I don't know, you know. I don't know what kind of place you think this is. Oh. Yeah, well, that's just a bit wide. That'll be a glorb that I'll live with. I'm probably not going to finish this mini tonight, oh Coral, just a heads up, but we are going to continue working on it.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and blorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like
Yep.
we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
I earned that one. I can't pretend that I didn't. My brush is fraying a bit. Jaded might be a better description. Well, you know, I'm not going to correct your interpretation of what kind of a person I am, Hathrir, because you have the outside perspective. And sometimes your close friends can know things about you that you don't quite realize about yourself. So I'll accept jaded. I definitely am jaded. Pants suck, just want to let you know it's fine not to wear them. Well, thank you so much. I'd watch Thunder After Dark if he's wearing a mini skirt. Who says I'm not wearing a mini skirt right now, Carla? NB Toby, this was printed at 0.02. It was 0.02 layers. And it was oriented about, like... If this is flat, plane, here, okay. Then this guy was oriented about, like, this. Like so. And it printed pretty well. Even got the antennas, which I shouldn't touch them because I'm going to break them off. But yeah, it printed both of them. And I just threw up in my mouth a little. Go ahead and pop that in a Ziploc for me, downslide, and send it over, you know what I mean? There's a points command? What are these points? Are there points I'm not using? What the fuck is happening? What are those points for? Is that Streamlabs? What's going on? Oh, that's from Stream Elements. Yeah, I was thinking about switching over to OBS Live, and I turned that on, but I haven't done anything with it yet. I don't know, Steiner Miniatures. You just fucking, like, nuked my chat. Everybody's going crazy now. Everyone's like, how many points do I have? Let me save you the fucking trouble. Y'all have 0 points. Because that's not a thing. Good job. You've ruined everything. Ooh, Cat has toys. No, I haven't turned on any of the stupid fucking games, so that's not gonna work, Steiner. Nice try. You rogue.
If you don't respect the cat, you're gonna get the bat.
You gon' get it. You gon' get it hard. I just saw someone named Tenacious T posted something over in the showcase on Discord. I just got the notification for that. Tenacious T, if you're watching, why don't you go ahead and drop that in the stream review too. Both places is fine. Guys, if you have a picture and you're like, well, I want to put it in showcase, but I also want to put it in stream review, do both. I'm not going to mind. Stream review gets purged after every stream. So please feel free to put it in multiple photo sections. One thing I'm definitely not going to do I'm going to be painting more Star Wars on here, like I was saying earlier, but one thing I'm not going to do to you guys is have one of my main streams be devoted to batch painting infantry. That's not something I'm going to do. When I'm painting Star Wars on here, I'm going to be painting probably more Commander models. Like I did Obi-Wan, I've got General Grievous to go, I've got Count Dooku, I need to do another Vader and another Luke, and I think there are a few more after that, but that should keep me busy for a while. So you're going to see me painting mostly Commander models when it's Star Wars time. Star Wars time, it's Star Wars time, baby, Star Wars time. No? Nobody? Okay. Oh, that's just fucking crazy. Oh well. I'm gonna blackwash everything, so it doesn't matter if I'm sloppy. Doodly doop. Yeah, character models. And yes, that is why I tend to prime and base before the stream. I don't want to sit here and make you guys watch me do the boring part of painting. I try to take care of the boring part before I go on stream, and I try to do interesting things on stream. And then sometimes I wind up doing this. Anyway. Believe it or not, this is the interesting part. I know that's depressing. But it is. There are less interesting things than this that I could be doing right now. By far. Yeah, character models. That bike you see, by the way, Steiner Miniatures. Okay, so it's probably good to clarify, since I'm establishing a policy for the Star Wars miniature painting, it won't just be character models, it'll be interesting models also. Including on-character models, like I might do some droidicas on here, I don't know, just because I don't have to do as many of them. Like, I'll probably do this Bark Speeder on here. Because it's a cool model, and it's going to take a decent amount of work, and I'm not doing, 10 of them. I'm doing maybe 2. I'll probably paint one off stream and do one on stream. It's a good model, though. I really like this model quite a lot. I'm a little annoyed by it, because the heads are the Phase 1 clone troopers, and then if you buy the expansion box that's just the Bark Speeder, you get the same bodies, but different heads. You get the Bark Trooper heads. And I'm like, fucking FFG, trying to make me buy another box so that I can have different clone heads. That's some bullshit. Oh well, I get it. They've got to put some value into their standalone boxes. So I'm just going with the Phase 1 clone trooper heads. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I do give a shit, or I wouldn't say anything. It's a good mini, though. Catgirl silhouette for Cat Storm Chasers mech. A Catgirl pinup. You guys, you make it. Send it off to Fighting Piranha and get it to me. Yeah, sure, why the hell not? Remember, just a reminder, Cat's Storm Chaser mech is going to be a Locust 1E, so there's not going to be that much space to put stuff on it, but you guys come up with some decals, I'll slap them on there. As long as Cat doesn't mind. I defer to her. She did gather the points to become a Storm Chaser, after all. And here in the near future, I'm looking forward to having some... So I was watching another stream where a guy has set up a game board behind him that he has cameras on, and every now and then what he does is he plays against his audience. It won't be, the most in-depth game, but I think it would be particularly easy with something like Battletech, where everything's built around a grid and it's not, like 360 tape measure movement. I thought it was a really cool idea, and I'm not promising this. I'm not saying we are going to do this, but I think it could be cool for the Storm Chasers and Thunderskunks to set up some games where you and I, and you being all of you, play. And we could do something like save up your volts and redeem your volts to make moves. Like, it'll cost you 500 volts. And then during this turn, you get to select a mech and do the move against me. And then we could have a camera on it, we could play a little game. I don't know, it seems like it could be a good time. The games are guaranteed to be fucking shitty and confusing, but that's half the fun. FFG does have a series of not FPG. Not FFG, FPG. Yeah, they have a series of pinups. I don't know if they have any Catgirls, though. Aw, You think you guys annoy me. How quaint. I don't think you know the kind of bullshit that Kat has put up with in her life. Or on a daily basis. She's friends with me, you guys. You've really got to step your game up. Have you heard the shit that I talk? It's atrocious. Is that a challenge? I'll let Kat take that. I would not test her. Oh, Coral. I have given her broad authority, and I have no intention of questioning it. I really don't. That is half kidding, but also partly serious warning to everybody in the chat. I have given Kat broad moderator authority, and I have no intention of second-guessing her. So, you know, at your peril. There it is. Tenacious T posting. Oh, that got a little loud, didn't it? I'm sorry, I have to adjust my levels. We're not quite there yet with the audio. We're not quite there yet. But Tenacious T just went ahead and posted in the stream review. Tenacious T, whoever you may be, thank you. The Annihilator in the HBG game had artillery. Interesting. I, for one, welcome our red-headed overlord. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought that was the bull shark. The bullshit, as it were. Damn it, WJ, you were wrong. Kat, ban WJ for being wrong. I'm glad she doesn't actually listen to me when I say that, because that is... I trust that Kat can tell when I'm joking. I really hope she can. To anyone who gets banned because Kat mistakes what my jokes for seriousness, I'm sorry. I apologize to you in advance. So far it hasn't happened. I think she can tell when I'm actually angry. It hasn't really happened yet. You guys have never seen me angry, and ideally you never will, because I won't be angry on the stream, guys. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be angry. If something happened on stream that made me genuinely mad, I would be more likely to just be like, look, I can't fucking do this today, we're gonna have to come back next time once I've had a chance to cool my head. You know? That would probably be my reaction. But so far it hasn't happened. It will eventually, if I keep doing it. If I keep doing this, eventually someone's gonna be like, neener, 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 trolling in the fucking chat, and I'm just gonna be like, and nobody's gonna like that. You probably didn't like it just then when I made that sound. That was horrible and ugly. This is not the best edge highlighting I've ever done in my life, but I'm going to clean it up with some washes. He has a vein that pops out. It's actually a little terrifying. Yeah, to be fair, Hethrir's seen me pretty fucking angry. Shock 21, I can't say. I know that that's the saying, but the fact is, you might like me when I'm angry. You might. I don't want to speak for you, you know? There's a history of people actually liking me when I'm angry, which is confusing to me. But I guess my conniptions are really entertaining? I don't know. Yeah, more saliva, though. Pondburn gonna crash. Hey, Pondburn, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. It's always good to see you. You have a good night. And hopefully I will see you on Thursday for some Marvel Crisis Protocol painting, my man. Just wondering when it will. What you got, WJ? Thought you were going to tear your shirt off and stretch your purple pants. That is why I wear the stretchy purple pants. That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angsty. I wonder sometimes if you guys can tell some of the moods that I get in. For instance, last stream, I told Kat this, and I'll just admit it because it doesn't really matter. I was out of it. I was barely talking. I got confused a couple of times. My brain was just not meshing with the stream. It was from my perspective, it was terrible. Like, I wasn't responding to people as quickly as I wanted. A few times I just had nothing to say, and I sort of stared dumbly at the desk. And I find myself wondering if you guys notice when things like that happen. I don't really want to hide it. I'm not trying to fool anybody. I don't think it does me any good to pretend that I don't ever get flustered. I'm just always curious if it's just me, or if it comes across. Depends on where the vein is. Well, you know. What can I say? Hethria and I have been friends for a long time. Is that a hair? Unfollowed a streamer a week or so ago, considering unfollowing another one. No, WJ, don't unfollow me. No, don't do it. I'll fucking cry. I go to my follower list every single night. Every single night. And I have a list, another one that I've written, so that I can cross-reference it and see if anybody's unfollowed, and then I can send them hate mail. I don't. I don't. Tenacious TG, chasing the storm. Thank you so much for the follow, man, and thank you for participating in the stream review. I saw that on my alerts. I'm looking forward to seeing what you posted, man. Alright, moving up, moving up, moving up. I'm going to start on the back, I want to start on the front. I hope that this stream is everything you want it to be, Tenacious. If it isn't, then... No, I'm kidding, I'm not gonna... Yeah. Ooh! Okay, I nearly just dipped my fucking paintbrush right in my drink cup. I was thinking about getting a drink, and I was reaching to dip my brush, and I almost did that. I got the brush into the glass, almost to the surface of the fluid before that happened. That was, whew! That was really something. What can I say, Shock? I'm a paranoid guy. Just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean people aren't following me. They are following me. That's what the follower count is. That's a stupid fucking joke. Crimson Angel. Slurp. Yeah, that'll taste real good. Crimson Angel, I use Winsor & Newton Series 7s. Sable brushes. They are between $12 and $15 depending on where you get them. And I realize that I don't know if you're a painter, how long you've been painting, anything like that. So if any of this doesn't apply to you, please ignore it. But I know that a lot of people sort of balk at the price of Winsor & Newtons when they first look at them. All I can say is buy... Oop, that's the microphone. Buy one and try it. Just one. Just buy one and some pink soap and try it if you haven't. Wait, were you asking me or did I miss part of the conversation? I hope you were asking me because I answered you. Thank you, Hathrier. I appreciate that. That was fucking terrible. Paint, water, drink quote from... Yeah, we probably should, actually. So notice there's a brush I own called the Psycho in the Army Painter line, and I like how thin it is. I wish it was longer as it's prone to fraying. If it's Army Painter, it's also probably synthetic, which synthetic brushes can certainly work. There's something to natural sable hair. Streams are very helpful. Connected with the channel after I posted pics of the Lyran Company and saw your response with the line. Oh! Yeah, I'm glad you like that Lyran Company. That was one of the first that I did when I got on this Battletech kick, and I think it came out pretty nice. Well, thank you so much, Tenacious. I hope that it is helpful. I mean, I obviously love painting Battletech, though I'm definitely going to be doing some other things. Still, you know, miniature painting is miniature painting, and I would hope that the streams I do of non-Battletech items are also helpful. I love hearing that my stream has inspired someone to paint more, or to resume painting, or to start painting, or really anything, to just be creative. That is the greatest compliment that anyone could possibly give me. It really is. That's my favorite thing. Like, I love the jingle of the biddies. I love the rumble of the thunder when somebody drops a sub or a follow. I love it. I love it. It's so validating.
You could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the
I
lines
will.
or anything.
But what I really love is when someone says, "Dude, because of your stream I started painting again." That fucking makes my heart grow 3 sizes. So don't do it too much, because it's probably not healthy. Have used small brush, gave the wife so she can paint rocks. Interesting. Oh, that's the Psycho you're talking about. Been using the Army Painter brushes, but love the way the Windsor brushes maintain a solid, steady tip for edge highlighting. That is the draw to them, Crimson. And I use Army Painter brushes, by the way. Thank you, O'Coral. I saw that. It's all my fault. Ha ha ha. Ho ho ho.
1 week you're mine till you dead.
But, yeah. Yeah, they're good for edge highlighting. Now, something, Crimson Angel, you might want to look at. Now, I love the sharp tip on the... I keep turning... I gotta stop doing that. I start talking loud when I'm facing away from the mic, and then I turn toward the mic and I keep speaking loud, and it distorts. Eventually, we'll figure this out, you guys. A good way to do edge highlighting instead of using the tip, and I know I do this a lot on here, so I'm setting a bad example, but really what you want to do, what is the ideal for edge highlighting, is to load your brush up with enough paint that it's actually got some in the bristles, and then go along the edge of the... Like here, I'll flip this upside down because this is a good way to show it. Go along the edge that you're trying to highlight with the side of the brush. Can you kind of see how I'm doing that? See where I got the tip? It's past the edge, and then I'm rolling this along the side. You can generally get cleaner lines doing it this way than trying to use the tip. It doesn't work for every single panel, but if you can do it, it is a lot easier than trying to actually paint with the tip as if it were a pencil. Really taking to painting again after watching your streams. That's awesome to hear, Roland. I really like that. And yeah, Carla, I love seeing your stuff come together. I really do. I just wish MechWarrior 5 wasn't an exclusive and would get its shit together. I also wish that they would get their fucking shit together, because MechWarrior 5 is... I'm just gonna say it, I'm disappointed in that game. I was just hoping for so much more. Maybe that was my mistake. Inspired to pick up an airbrush, spent the weekend trying to decide on a model and realized there was no chance of getting a good mask to wear for it anytime soon. Tenacious, that is a good point. Now, you could get away using an airbrush with just tying a piece of fabric around your mouth. There are people out there who'll be like, no, you need to wear like a biological filter mask to paint with an airbrush. You don't. Ask yourself, what biological agent in acrylic am I filtering out? The answer is fucking nothing, because there's no organic compounds in acrylic paint. It's not there. You're filtering out droplets of acrylic paint and whatever solvent it's floating in, which is usually water. Maybe a little bit of alcohol, but not much. Maybe some ammonia. But even so, what you're putting out are droplets that will be caught by almost any mask. Now, you should use a decent mask and not just use a t-shirt wrapped around your face, but if all you got's a t-shirt and you have a well-ventilated room, you can airbrush. Don't huff it, don't do that. But And I shouldn't be doing that anyway. You in chat give me color suggestions and advice for painting the joints. I want to make it look exposed instead of just putting camo on it. I was thinking of using very dark grays, maybe metallics. You could do kind of what I do with the joints of these mechs. Hang on, I got some around here. Pull over Contos, and you can see I use like some, like for the knee joint and the jump jets, I'll use like a blue-gray a lot of the time. Just to separate, like you see how his fingers are that color too. Just to mix things up a little bit. You can see the top of the shoulder joint is the same way. I like blue-grays for that. I'm very partial to blue-grays. You might have noticed that with me using coal black all the goddamn time. Yeah, it's not rattle can paint. Rattle can paint is going to have more solvents in it that you don't want to breathe in than airbrush paint. Airbrush paint is pretty much acrylic and water. I'm not saying breathe deep of the acrylic. I'm just saying it's not going to hurt you that much. That doesn't sound good. A basic filter. That's how I'll say it. I won't say it's not going to hurt you that much because that sounds stupid. I'm going to say a basic filter is more than you need. And even some fabric wrapped around your face will do a pretty damn good job at keeping it out of your lungs. You're going to get more toxicity from working with epoxy putty in your bare hands than you're going to get from breathing some acrylic paint from an airbrush. By the way, wear gloves when you're working with epoxy. It is toxic. WJ, this is in fact a Thunderskunk Mini, thus the noxious green stripe that I still need to do a lot of cleanup on. I really like it's rough. This is a concept, and I've never really done it before. I might take all the white feathers off of it and redo them in more broad strokes because I feel like I maybe did too many of them. But I want to get the black highlighted up before I decide. This big bulbous gut on this guy is a little weird to paint. Annihilators, they're such weird looking mechs. I forget to wear a mask half the time. Yeah, I do too, honestly. I try not to, but it does happen. Contos up next to Thunder. Do you want to see them together, O'Coral? Oh, you want to get a size on them. Yeah, for scale, the Annihilator is about head and shoulders taller than a 55-tonner, which seemed about right to me. Because he's also significantly wider. I thought so. Ew, paint boogers. Yeah, the point being, don't let the lack of availability of high-grade masks right now stop you from airbrushing it. It shouldn't. There are plenty of other options for something that simple. People, you know, the hobby world is a funny sort of thing. It moves with I'm sure many of you will recognize what I'm talking about. There are trends. There are trends in the hobby world just like there are trends on Twitter and on Facebook and among reality television watchers. And, you know, trends are just something that humans engage in. Somebody learns something, somebody starts spreading something, it picks up steam, it gains popularity, and suddenly everybody's repeating it. With the rise of 3D printing, there was all the, oh, don't use a resin printer unless you got a fucking super ventilated room that's like a laboratory with a bunch of masks and never, ever, ever let it anywhere near anything. The fumes will kill you immediately. That was all bullshit. And a bunch of people who don't actually read the hazard sheets on their resin. Are most resins toxic? Absolutely they are. But it's possible to handle toxic materials sensibly without being a fucking lunatic if you actually look at what it says about them. If you have a reasonably well-ventilated room and you're not huffing it straight out of the bottle, most resins are not going to be a problem. They're mostly going to be a problem if you're rubbing them on your skin or breathing them in a whole lot. Then they're going to be an irritant. But if you're just around them and you're not actively breathing them in and you have a decent amount of ventilation, they're perfectly fucking fine. And for that matter, not all resins are created equal. Some of them are less dangerous than others. Some of them have less of an inhalant risk than others. You have to actually look at it and know what you're talking about, and not just go with what the hell people say. Wear a crazy mask while you airbrush is another one of those, where for whatever reason that picked up steam at some point, and now people just say it. People are fucking dumb, you guys. Now don't take this and run off to Facebook and be like, Thunderhead said I don't need to wear a mask ever. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, learn why these things are true. Don't just take somebody's word for it. Anything that you're engaging with as a hobby like this, you should be willing to take the time to really learn some of the facts about. But yeah, hobbies go through trends too. I mean, I'm sure all of you are familiar with the long-lasting non-metallic metal trend. Something that picked up popularity in the early 2000s and has turned into a monster since then. Where is the cockpit on the Annihilator? It's up in the head, right? This isn't like a weapon or anything, is it? It's like the Cyclops, right? It just has a goofy head. Oh, I'll just stretch my back a little bit. Sentient Pickle, I know that struggle. Oh my god, I know that. Dude, I love the kit. I love this fucking microphone. I don't need this microphone. I don't need to sound very good for this stream. I just wanted to. It's up on the head? Okay, good. Do you think the Clan Invasion box set is dead? I don't think it's dead, WJ. I think it's gonna face some problems, but I think everybody kind of saw that coming, you know? Anybody who's been paying attention to what's been going on in the world recognized as soon as this started going on that, oh, the Clan Invasion box is going to be delayed. There's just no way around it. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Knees and toes! Mixing up some more of my highlight because I ran it out. Yeah, that's unlikely. There's been a lot of complaining about the quality of the final products that they got. That's not something that I particularly want to indulge in, because I really try not to be too negative about the work of other artists, even when they are, you know, working for big companies. And Catalyst is not that big a company, it really isn't. So it's hard to say that they're working for a big company over there. But I think it's interesting that people are not as happy with the initial pictures of the sculpts that they're presenting. I want to see them painted. I feel like it was maybe a little ill-advised to post those pictures without having any of them with paint jobs on them, without even doing so much as putting down some primer. They should really know better. They should know that it's hard to see the details of a miniature when it's in just gray plastic. It really is. I mean, resin is particularly bad, but even in PVC or styrene, it's difficult to see the actual details of... Oh god, this is terrible what I'm doing right here. I'm gonna have to fix this later. It's difficult to actually see the details until you put something on it to give it some shading, you know? I feel like somebody who's working at Catalyst should have had the fucking brains to go, hey guys, maybe we paint one of these before we post it, because this doesn't really look right. Why don't I just do the worst edge highlighting on the entire model right on its chest? Why don't I do that? It's a brilliant idea. Because, like, I can't even criticize the new models because I feel like I don't really know what they look like. August best case based on last update. That seems reasonable, considering what they were looking at before. It's a potato quality photograph, yeah. And honestly, like that, when I look at the reaction to the miniatures they're putting out for Battletech right now, I feel like the mistake was not in the sculpting. The mistake was in not understanding how miniature photography works, guys. I know they know better than that. They've posted better pictures than that. They have to have people working for them who fucking know better than that. Taking pictures of miniatures that look good is as hard, if not harder, than painting the miniatures in the first place. So to just take a random snapshot of bare plastic and post it up to a bunch of rabid fanboys is like, are you fucking trying to get people to criticize your work, like, really harshly? Because you're presenting the shittiest possible version of it. So that's my main criticism of CGL in relation to that, is in thinking that those photos would be well received without putting any work into them. And obviously, they take my criticism very seriously. Obviously, they give a shit what I think at all. Grab it, Sentient. Everything's relative to WJ. And I think that relativity is important to remember as we move forward into the Clan Invasion Kickstarter, that even if the minis are not exactly what you were hoping for, even if the minis are maybe not up to like Games Workshop quality, that's not surprising, because Catalyst is not the size of Games Workshop. They're not going to have minis of that quality. They're doing a different scale of mini in a different material, with a different level of sculptor that they're paying. For shit's sake, they just had a come and get you ad trying to find new sculptors to help them work on the new clan sculpts. Like, they don't actually have enough sculptors to finish all of their Kickstarter promises. So it's not the most surprising thing, you know? They're not that big, you guys. You have to have a little bit of understanding.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorify.
Yeah, that was a little
like
glorby.
Trying to get inside the lines or anything.
And yeah, it's true. And yeah, if it's on par with the Game of Armored Combat minis, like, yeah, I think most people will be happy. I wouldn't mind if they sold STLs for the minis either, but they are not even remotely interested in doing that, so, you know, whatever, fight the future, I guess. That's something I think is a mistake on Catalyst's part, and everybody always tells me when I suggest it, like, CGL should try selling STLs. Everybody's like, well, they're not going to make any money off that. But let me tell you something. You see this Annihilator in my hand right now? I printed this. Most of the minis over on my shelf I printed. You know how much money Catalyst Game Labs made off of that? None. Not a fucking penny. So my question is, what exactly do they have to lose? They're not making any money on it now. They have nowhere to go but up. If they make $1 fucking on 3D printing, they'll be making more than they are now. They're not going to stop people from doing it. They're not going to make 3D printers disappear by clicking their fucking heels together and hoping real hard. And people are going to keep doing it. I always say, technology is a freight train, and you can either get on board and help conduct it, or get run the fuck over trying to stop it. Those are your only real options. They have opted to stand in the way. And I think that they will regret that one day. Because the one thing that's not going to happen is them making people stop 3D printing. It's not. Hell, Disney can't even do that. And if Disney doesn't have the litigative power to make that happen, fucking no one does. Games Workshop can't stop it. And they are litigious as all hell. Do these plastics look better than IWM? Carla J. Reynolds. I like I said, I try to maintain a policy of not talking shit about other artists as much as I can, even though I do wind up doing it regularly because I got opinions. I would just say that almost anything looks better than IWM a lot of the time. And yes, they do. Also, the miniatures that are coming out with the Clan Invasion Kickstarter are going to be available in metal, in those sculpts from Ironwind Metals after the fact. Now that is pretty cool. That is a neat thing that they've done. I'm not a big fan of Ironwind Metals. I'm just not. It's hard for me to get that excited about a company that seems, and I don't know, okay, I don't know anything about the personal level of Ironwind Metals. I don't know the people who work there. I don't know how nice they are or how much they might have helped you feed your dog when you were out of town one time or fucking whatever. I don't know any of that stuff. All I can do is judge them based on the quality of the minis and the prices they charge. And compared to other miniature companies, they're kind of disappointing. I realize they're not as big as other companies, but there's a reason that companies like that wind up going under eventually. Recently, they've certainly got some better sculpts on their website, and I think that is a fantastic thing, but they need to keep up that momentum if they're going to keep customers. Because many of the sculpts on their website are still trapped in fucking 1984, and while some people may find that endearing for nostalgic reasons, you have to understand that many players will not. Traditionally, I have found one of the hardest things about getting a player into Battletech is not the part when I'm describing, oh, and battle mechs are these giant war machines, and they use Neura helmets, and oh, and then the clans are the doobly. Like, the story gets people going, the story gets people fired up. The part where the person goes, oh, and decides not to play is when you pull out your box full of metal Ironwind minis. And you're like, oh, and here's a commando. And they go, that looks like a fucking moron in a space helmet. That's what that looks like. Yeah, forgot it wrong. That pisses me off, too. They keep calling the 3D printing the pirate market and think the Clan Invasion... They're fucking delusional if they think the Clan Invasion box is going to kill 3D printing. They are out of their goddamn minds if they think that's true. That is nonsense. Even if all they did was sell mod pieces, I think they do. That was part of the reason that I fucking did these minis over here. I'll show them off since I got them. Part of the reason that I started sculpting parts like this and using Catalyst Game Labs models, like for this Locust 1E. I made these parts that seem to fit the aesthetic of the official figures. Like this. Because I was thinking, at the time, perhaps somewhat naively, maybe if someone makes parts like this and shows them off, somebody at CGL will be like, hey, that's a good idea. If we sold STLs to mod parts, we could make a little bit of money, and we could encourage people to buy more of our miniatures because they'll need the base miniature to then put the parts on. And you know what kind of response I got to that? Fucking nothing. Not that they're under any obligation to pay attention to me, nobody is. I thought it was a good idea, you know? Yeah, Kursala, a lot of people are like that. And you ever got it wrong, they charge a lot of money for what they make. Not be opposed to a secret lair-esque STL drop for Battletech stuff from Catalyst, I would see, that's the thing. I would totally pay Catalyst money. I would absolutely pay Catalyst money for STLs. I would pay Catalyst money for STLs of figures that there are free STLs of, just to support them. I want to support them. I want to support the game. I really do. And they make it oddly difficult sometimes. That was a direct paraphrasing of The Scrog? That's not surprising. That dude is a fucking nice, happy man with good feelings. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna say mean things about an individual on stream, even if I may have negative opinions. That's, you know, part of my criticisms of Anthony Scroggins are that he behaves in a way that is unprofessional given his associations, and I do not want to emulate that or behave in a manner that is unprofessional, even though I don't actually have that profession. But, you know, they say be the change you want to see in the world. So I'll give that a try. Tonight's Crazy Rant is brought to you by Thunderhead Studio. I think a lot of people have had negative interactions with Anthony Scroggins. It's no surprise to say that he has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Yeah, Vergaderung, I mean, yeah. So, I'm not going to linger on the subject for long, because like I said, I don't want this to be a place of negativity. But that doesn't mean that we can't talk about negative things from time to time, because the fact is, some things are negative. Anthony Scroggins is the... And let me preface this. Let me preface this by saying something nice. Because the fact is, Anthony Scroggins is an incredibly talented artist. He really, really is. He goes by Shimmering Sword on DeviantArt. I honestly recommend you check him out. He has a really, really cool style. The stuff that he paints and draws for himself is really neat. It's a style that I enjoy. He combines believable mecha with sort of Super Sentai martial arts in a way that just tickles my fancy. I love his work. I wish that I liked him more as a person. But he touts himself as the official face of the artist team at Catalyst Game Labs. He walks around with Catalyst Game Labs plastered all over all of his social media, and then he's combative and aggressive with customers, and that is not cool. It's not cool. You are hard-pressed to find people who will say, yeah, he's a really nice fucking guy and everyone enjoys interactions with him, because they don't. I'm not even saying anything mean about him when I say that. I'm just saying he is abrasive and unpleasant to deal with. And he doesn't seem to give a shit about that fact. I wouldn't even have a problem with it if he didn't wear the CGL badge so openly. But it's like, dude, everything you do reflects badly on Catalyst Game Labs. He's a lot nicer than the Polish knockoff artist. Yeah, I've seen some negative interactions with that dude too. But you know, that's like saying, hey, a kick in the nuts sure beats a poke in the eye. A prick is a prick at the end of the day. So let's move on from the subject. I don't want to have my stream be devoted to ripping on an artist. And the man is an artist, and that's part of the thing I'd like people to understand. He is an artist. And artists, particularly, I mean, creative types, I don't even put myself anywhere near on the same level as Anthony Scroggins as far as art goes. He leaves me in the fucking dust. He's very talented. And he has a fantastic imagination. But artists can be abrasive. This is part of the reason I think that artists probably shouldn't be the PR face of your fucking company. I feel like that's a mistake that somebody at CGL has made. My last remark on the subject. This is my last remark, and I would appreciate it, chat. If you don't mind, let's just talk about something else. After this, I'm just going to say, Anthony Scroggins is the reason, directly and explicitly, that Catalyst Game Labs is getting no money from me out of the Kickstarter. I pledged on day one for, I think it was like $450, and as it went on, he was more and more abrasive, and he caused more and more problems, and he did some kind of shitty things to Vergaderung, and then he said some kind of shitty things to me, and I got my fucking money back, because I don't want to support him. That is the most clear and direct statement that I can make, is voting with my dollars. I have done that. I have voted, I have made my opinion known, and I'm willing to leave it at that. And let this, if you like the guy, if you think he's great, if you think that that's unreasonable, I cast no judgments upon you. This is entirely personal. That's just how I feel. Yeah, Cat, what's for dinner? Oh, you taking off? Oh, Cat, don't leave me, no. Robot rocket lock and load bust. Ooh, I'll have to check that out. I haven't. I haven't done a bust in a long, long time. to shade that again. And chat, I appreciate you allowing me to indulge in some negativity, even though I'm the one who is all against it. Every now and then it can be a little bit of a purge. I try to keep my negativity limited to, and you've seen it, I try to keep my negative opinions limited to things like why this movie is dumb, because that's harmless. There's so many things in the world that you can be so angry at, so many things you can be so negative about, and you know, it's like negativity does kind of flow out of me as a person, it really does. I'm inclined to be negative. So I try to limit it to things that don't matter. I try to limit it to things like why Star Wars can be a big bag of poop sometimes. Because at the end of the day, if I go, Star Wars fucking sucks, and you go, no it doesn't, it rules, and we disagree hard on it, we both come away just fine. You know, it doesn't matter. Nobody's hurt by that. Disney certainly doesn't give a shit. Are burrito sandwiches? Yes. Ever think about doing that 28mm scale Dictator B Cav White Wolf? Not only have I thought about that, I am kind of waiting because the guys over at Cav have talked about releasing a 28mm scale Starhawk 6. Because I love the Starhawk design. The Starhawk from Cav is my favorite Cav that they have in their catalog. And if they release a 28mm Starhawk 6, I am all over that shit. I am absolutely getting one, and I am absolutely painting it. Yes, 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 yes. Very fucking yes. Oh, Coral, by now it should be obvious I'm not even going to get close to actually finishing this mech today, and I apologize for that. We'll do it some more, though. That's okay. Yeah, the Haunt is also... They have a couple... Okay, Cav definitely has some mech designs in it that are just goofy. Like, there are a few that are dumb-looking, let's just be honest. But they have a few that are really good-looking, too. I think the Dictator is a fantastic design, if only because it's as unique as it is. There's something to be said for simply being unique in the world of mecha, because mechs tend to look like one another as time goes on. And designers fall back on a lot of the same design tropes. And the Dictator has a real unique profile and a lot of real unique features, and I respect the shit out of that. I think it's a good-looking mech. I like the 28mm version. I like every painted version I've seen. But the Starhawk 6 is just sex on legs. I like it. I like it a lot. And yeah, if they get one of those made and released, I'm going to be painting a 28mm Starhawk 6 on this stream. I guarantee it. And I feel a little guilty not painting more Cav on here because I own so much of it. I just... You know, guys, I've kind of made myself a promise. I'm not gonna force myself to paint things that I don't feel like painting. I'm just not going to. And I haven't felt like painting Cav. I don't know. I don't have a reason for it. It's not because of anything. It's just, you know... I'm very whimsical when it comes to what minis I feel like painting at any given time. If Greg the Salt Miner was in here, he could tell you exactly what I mean. He's watched me go through like 4 games in a month. Do you think a gray primer would be okay? Do you think a black primer is the only way to go? That depends on what you're doing, Pyre. I use black primer because I like them. And I tend to work up to whatever base color I want, but it depends on what you're doing very much. If you would describe what you're working on, you know, Pyre, let me encourage you to do something. That question is broad enough. If you would pop over into the Discord to the Questions and Advice channel and just tell us what you're working on, and ask that question again, I feel certain that we could get you an answer that is more helpful. WJ, I've been thinking about that. The one that Vergaderung did, the Atlas statue, I think that's cool as shit. I do want to do it. I want to make it bigger than any of the ones I've seen so far. I want to print it out like giant on the tabletop. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've just got so much other shit going on. But I mean, you know how that is. There are all the things that we want to do as painters and as modelers, and then there's the things that we have a combination of the time and the motivation and the inspiration to do. And I think there's a tendency to leap before we look. There's a tendency to have bigger eyes than our stomach. There's a tendency to say, I want to build X, Y, Z. And it's something that I've been trying to stop doing. Saying that I'm going to work on things. Because there's kind of a phenomenon that procrastinators are familiar with, where saying you're going to do a thing almost hinders you from doing it. Because it's like saying, I'm going to build XYZ, I'm going to paint XYZ. It sets off almost the same little burst of serotonin in your brain, that little sense of satisfaction, as you would get from just doing it. And it almost kicks that can down the road a little bit. Like, well, I talked about it, so, you know, I'll get to it one day. I prefer to just do things. Now, I'm not really great at that. Like, I realize, I say all the time, I'm going to do XYZ. The problem is so many of those projects never come to fruition. And I'm really working on, one, not beating myself up for that. And I think a lot of you can probably sympathize with that. It doesn't do you any good. Just because I said I'm going to make something doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to, even though I like to stick to what I say. I'm trying to just keep the ideas in mind and work on them, and not get too lost in the dream of it all. And for that matter, not feel too bad when something doesn't happen. Hey, bad dachshunds. Oh, bad ones. Naughty. Naughty dachshunds. Naughty. What's up, bad dachshunds? How you doing? Thank you so much for the follow. I hope you're having fun in the stream. I hope you're liking what you see. We're gonna go over to the, Oh, you taking off, Crossbow? Alright, well hey, thanks for hanging out tonight, man. It's really been good seeing you. Generally do a black and then a white zenithal highlight stylized over top. That is often what I also do, Steiner Miniatures. I love that you guys are all over giving advice. I really do. WJ, you're not sabotaging a goddamn thing. It's all personal, WJ. Every single bit of it is personal. If I felt like saying it was going to sabotage me, I wouldn't say it. I am responsible for my own actions. I am my own person, and Pierce, you're a bee. Anybody? Community? No? Okay. That's not going on the way I wanted it to. Yeah, Vergatorung makes a good point, and I would expand that. Not just saying especially metal miniatures, just as a rule of thumb. Number one, always wash. Always. Let me put it this way. Are there miniatures out there in materials and created with manufacturing styles that don't require you to wash off mold release agents? Yes, there are those miniatures. Washing a miniature is so goddamn easy, why would you risk it? Why risk putting down a paint job and having it peel off like a fucking banana skin just because you didn't feel like rinsing something and letting it dry? You're rolling the dice. Save the dice rolling for the game, not for the painting. Be sure about the painting. Wash your minis. The second thing, following on from that, always prime. I see that question a lot. I see, do I need to prime this miniature? Do I need to? Do I need to? My question, why the fuck wouldn't you? Is it a little bit of a pain in the ass? Sure it is. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass that is going to guarantee that your paint job is going to go on properly. So why not? Make it happen. I'm not doing a lot of painting right now. I've kind of drifted away from it. We're going to go over into the stream review here in just a couple of minutes. No, WJ, you don't have to feel bad about that. Please, for all my complaining, don't for a second feel like I have anything personally invested in whether or not the Kickstarter goes through. I hope the Kickstarter fucking goes fantastically. I hope that you have nothing but positive interactions with anybody that I have negative interactions with. That's me. That's my life, man. You are not hurting me. You're not insulting me. You're not doing anything wrong by... Even, like if there was someone out there who I really fucking hated and you were like, well, I want to be friends with them, you know how much that would affect me? Not at all, dude. That's your life. So you don't need to apologize. You support the company. I'm glad people are supporting the company. That's a decision that I've made for my own reasons, and I don't expect anyone else to even care about that, let alone respect it, let alone follow it. Don't follow my example. I'm probably being too sensitive about the whole affair. I know how I am. I want you to make your own decisions. And I want you to feel good about your own decisions. I only mentioned it because I want you to have information. You don't have to give a shit about what I think about anything. In fact, you probably shouldn't. Don't get me wrong, the fact that you do is very gratifying and validating, certainly. But you're not hurting my feelings by not, man. You really aren't. You do you. I believe in the golden rule. I believe that you treat others the way you would want to be treated. And you know what I want? I want my opinion and I want my feelings respected. Not obeyed, that's not the right word. Not, emulated, not placed above the importance of your own. I just want them respected as mine. And in turn, I respect yours. $20K volts. Ah, shit, we're getting there. Respect my authority. Yeah, Carla, I know that we do. And that's why, I try to preface things by being nice, because I don't want to hurt anybody else's feelings. I know, Carla, you like the IWM store. You go there. You probably know some of the people there by name. You have a different opinion about it, as well you should. You have a totally different perspective on it than I do. I don't feel like you going there in any way invalidates or affects my opinion, nor should my dislike for their models affect yours, because you've got a different perspective. Chat, I respect you. I do. I respect each and every one of you. I respect your opinions. I respect your positions. Regardless of what they are. Well, not regardless of what they are. I will add a caveat to that. There are certain opinions that do not deserve respect. It's an extreme, and it's probably not even worth mentioning for the sake of this conversation, but if you're like an anti-vaxxer or something like that, we probably should never talk about that subject. Because it's probably just going to piss me off, and probably piss you off. But, again, that's why I try to keep conversation to things about, entertainment. There are no wrong opinions when it comes to entertainment. There are no wrong opinions when it comes to what you like in miniatures. It's impossible to be wrong about what you like, guys. Because it just is. Carla, you like IWM? As well you should. I like that you care enough to hang out around here and give me your opinion. Like I said, I respect it. Well, hold on to it, Steiner, and think about your decision. Because we're going to have some more channel point redemption options going up soon. I am going to go over to the stream review. Let's just have a look at this. This is... The stripe needs work. It really does. It needs a good amount of cleanup. I'm probably going to do some more work on it tonight. I want to narrow down the feathers. I want to point them a little bit more. I might reduce the number of them. This has been a conceptual mech that we're working on tonight. And I don't do a lot of freehand. I definitely need to ease the white off. I think maybe by coming along the edges of the white with just a real thin down gray glaze that will soften them. And it'll come together a bit. But, this is the Thunderskunk Annihilator, the most ridiculous looking goddamn mech we've put any work into so far on this stream. Thanks to our viewer, O'Coral. O'Coral, we're not getting it done tonight, but he'll get done. He'll get done. And we'll get some good pictures taken of him. The fucking Thunderskunk Commander is who this guy is going to be. That'll really be something. No, if you give me forced compliment and you bring up something political like anti-vax, I am simply not going to do it. I think that's fair, really. Keep your forced compliments to things that are unimportant. Pyre makes a good point. If you put your toilet paper in the under position, you can get the fuck out. What's up, Zyklon? My voice is a trip. Oh, that's the first time I've heard that. I hope you didn't trip too bad. I hope you didn't hurt anything. Stream to work tonight. I may. I may.
To 50 Shades of Coal Gray.
We'll see.
And as he pulled his stiff bristles out of my wet fluids, I yelled out, "No, Thunderhead! You need to thin that paint first!"
Chaotic Harmony is a sick bastard. The things that he records that I let him put on here, it's unfucking believable. Let's pop over to Stream Review. I'm painting you as like a high school radio guy. You know, I wasn't. You know, in high school I did debate and I did drama. Those were the two things that I did. I was in a number of performances at a local community theater, a couple of musicals, a couple of dramas. We did some Jane Austen. We did Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. It was a fun time. I really enjoyed my time in drama. And then in the Army, they made me read a bunch of shit on PA systems and give a bunch of speeches. And that, while fun, they didn't pay me anything for that. So I kind of regret doing it. I should have found a way to make them pay me more money, or just said, nah. You know what, Vergaderung? We'll make him record another one. It can be 50 Shades of Coal Black. The joke still works, if that's the case. College radio. Oh, yeah. Is that so? Damn, maybe we need you to record some stuff for us, Downslide.
99
Something
bottles
nice and
of paint on the
smooth.
wall, 99 bottles of paint. Take one down, shake it around. 150 bottles of paint on the wall.
It is like they reproduce. I don't understand how the paint does this. Let's pop over to the stream review and see what we've got. Did you like that transition? It was much smoother this time, wasn't it? I didn't give you the infinity or anything like that. 50 Shades of Grey Mane. Alright, let's see. Okay, this is from the last stream. Play and Win, also known as an AC-20 to the face. Didn't get this finished by the end of the stream, but he did finish it later. Donald Noy from Night's Watch. Ooh! These are the Song of Ice and Fire miniatures, which have some really aggressive sculpts on them, and this is nice looking. Now, I have seen some of the first... I think... no, maybe I'm mistaken. Play and Win's not here right now, so he can't correct me, but I think I've seen some of the first miniatures that he ever painted. I encouraged him when we were playing Beyond the Gates of Antares to get into painting miniatures, because he was not at the time. And that's my game. I'm a pusher. I'm always like, paint some minis, man. Fucking paint some minis. And he got into it, and he has a real eye for it. And let me tell you, this is a big step up for him. This is some fantastic fucking work, and this is exciting as hell, knowing where he's come from to see where he is now. In the span of really just, like, 2 years. Not a whole lot of time spent painting. We have Alistair Thorne, also from the Night's Watch. Oh, I love that leather! I'm gonna have to hit him up after this and let him know. Damn! I want to see some closer pictures is what I want. But of course, taking pictures of minis is almost as hard, if not harder, than painting them in the first place. But that fur and the leather, he really had some good color choices for that. I'm not sure if he's using glazing or contrast on this. It looks like maybe a contrast and then a hand highlight, but it's effective for the black. Roland using some more of that Creed camo. Oh god, I love the Orion. I really do. It's such a cool looking mech. That's a nice print too, man. You were saying that you're trying to use it in fewer spots instead of just slathering it over the whole model, and I think that actually makes it more effective with a couple of other color areas to break it up. That's looking really good, Roland. I like that. I don't remember what you said you were making, but I want to fucking eat it. Oh, I just want to stick my face in it. It looks so... like, satisfying in the worst possible way. Like it would destroy my guts and I wouldn't even care. Oh, we got a little comms truck coming up. What is this? What is this truck? It's got a gun and a comms thing on it. This is ridiculous. They've combined two things into one. I'm sure this is a particular vehicle. I'm just not sure which one it is. Oh, we got some missile carriers. Huh? Now, this was that Ajax Omni-Tank you were working on last time. It looks like it toned the green down just a little bit. I think that was a good move. I always love the yellow that you use to contrast your green, Roland. It's really good work. Well, we've got Vergaderung, who's been actually working on some models He's been working on some axe modifications for a few. I really like the way you've done these, man. That axe, that hatchet is so fucking cool. I think it represents an interesting way of thinking about the way that a mech would strike with a hatchet. Because why not go ahead and integrate the blow into the natural swing of the arm like that? And it's braced on both sides, so you know it's good and strong, as opposed to putting all of the torque force on the wrist joint. Because this is a lot weaker than... I just punched the microphone, I'm sorry. Than attaching it to the forearm. I think that's really cool. What is this? What is this you're doing over here? I don't know. I'm sure he said. Oh, that's the ERPPC. That's what you've been working on. Okay. Okay. I like how you put the little ball in here. That's thinking ahead, because painters need a little something to pick out. Kursala working on more Orion parts, a version of the left forearm. And you've been doing some texturing on it, or at least color it. Oh, this looks good. Oh, this looks... I like this so much better than the old one that you were doing, man. That detailing is excellent. I really like the soft chamfer that the end has there with the vents around it, and the size of the medium... This... Okay. Kursala. You're here, right? This is the best you've done. This is fantastic. I like this a whole lot. I'm gonna paint this goddamn Orion when you get it done, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good. That's fucking good. The panel lines and greeblies, I think that's just right, man. I think the angle that you got here compared to the size, like the ratio of the size of the arm, the angle at the end, and the size of the medium laser is fucking... That's... Very yes. Very yes, my friend. Colonel Matthew Steiner. Ooh, look at all the bullet holes. Man, these mechs are fucked up. Is that awesome missing an arm? Yeah, that's what you said. You were working on some Franken mechs, huh? I like you got like a rotary autocannon and a hatchet on that Wolverine, you madman. I don't know what the fuck that thing is on the left. It looks like a cataphract had a baby with an industrial mech. This is really cool, dude. I like this. I like that the Awesome's just missing an arm. That's cool, and the bullet holes are really neat. I look forward to seeing these painted the rest of the way. Hethrier with the food porn. What are you doing baking stormtroopers into your fucking food? That's disgusting. Oh, I can't look at this. I've got to eat something. I've got to go eat something after this, you guys. Is it a Corsair? I'm not familiar with it. Oh, an MWO Corsair. Okay. Yeah. And resized. Yeah, I think this is more like it. This is just a bit extreme, perhaps, but the ratio that you kept is just about spot on. Primed and ready for base coat from Orthane. Top equals mechs from BT 25-year anniversary set, and bottom printed on the longer Orange 10 MSLA resin printer. Let's compare, shall we? Now, most of us are familiar with these sculpts, I think, who are in this chat. Most of us have painted at least one of these sculpts at some point. I like this. I saw this on Thingiverse. I'm glad people are using this. And hey, to be fair, as much as I criticize IWM, they do have some good sculpts in there. I always like the Banshee, frankly. Their plastic Banshee. Maybe not the Cyclops as much. The Zeus is pretty nice. And then we got some 3D prints down here on the bottom. Oh, those are good looking prints, man. Real smooth. Oh, you did my Warhammer! Oh, you guys! This is me being excited. I mean, it's not my Warhammer. I didn't make that Warhammer from scratch. All I did was make the arm guns on that Warhammer, but I am so fucking glad to see that somebody printed it out. That's cool. I cannot wait to see you finish painting that, man, because I haven't seen anybody else paint them yet. I got 2 of them done, but I haven't seen anybody else do them. I want to see that mech painted by somebody else. White Wolf working on some bases. White Wolf, are these for, I would guess Infinity. You might have told me and I might have forgotten, and if you did, I apologize, but if I'm guessing, I'm going to say these are Infinity bases. Orthane, magnets on the turrets of the tanks. Oh, okay, alright. Nice. I like being able to point the turret where it's actually shooting. Yep. Yep, I was right. I was right. I mean, it's not like Infinity models don't have a very distinct aesthetic. These are MDF bases, aren't they? We saw these last time before they were painted. The blue and white is really great. I love what you've done for the sort of asphalty texture over here. That's really effective. I dig it. I dig it, man. Roland with some more work on the Orion. This must be what you got done during the stream. The yellow shoulder looks nice. Yeah, I agree with what you were saying earlier. Less of the Creed camo and more with a few colors to break it up. It just kind of it focuses your eye a little bit better. It lets you appreciate the colors more. Do I want to click on that Vergata room? Like, I'm looking at it, and I don't know if I do. I feel like there might be a Twitch TOS violation in there, but I'm not sure. It's safe for... I'm trusting you, man. Alright, there's a cyber butt. That's about as bad as it gets. I think we're okay. This is fucking ridiculous. There's them cyber cat. This is pretty much me right here. With the sweet-ass oiled beard and the, like, frilly, foppish outfit. This is me. And here's Cat. Right here. Sort of telling me what the fuck I need to be doing. Oh, God. Crossbow roof, assembling some drop zone vehicles. I like drop zone. I've always thought this game was cool. I've only played it a few times and I enjoyed myself. I like these tanks with the turret on the sort of articulated arm. I look forward to seeing you getting these painted up, man. On Steiner. He's been working on these, what are these ones called? They've all got stupid fucking names now, like Inceptors and Interrogators and Wangahoochie Wingle-Wongles and a bunch of bullshit that Games Workshop, just words that they could copyright because they realize that's important. Like, we can't call them Space Marines, we have to call them something else now. It's not good enough that they're tactical Marines, they have to be intercessors so that we can make more money. I don't remember what they're called. Oh, I made that big hullabaloo about it, and they're just called infiltrators? Well, I feel stupid now. Thanks. Thanks for stealing my fucking thunder, Hethrir. Yeah, I agree. GW makes more than enough cash. The work that you've done on this guy is fan-fucking-tastic, though, man. I really like this blue, how it's coming together. And this was an airbrushed blue that you've then come over and done a bunch of highlighting on. I like the smoke on the thrown grenade. That's nice. Homeboy with a sniper rifle. That's a good contrast between the blue and the warm cloak. I like that. I'm not a big fan of doing camo on those cloaks. I think stuff like this looks better. I like the basing, too. You do good basing just about every time, though. Oh, the whole gang. Me and the boys, as it were. Nice. Nice work, man. Fucking Ultra Smurfs. You just can't get rid of them, can you? Prepped for printing. Ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Oh, man, that cockpit really does look nice. You're going to have to hook me up with these STLs. And here we have Tenacious T. Love the streams. Been working on this Wolf Clan Epsilon Galaxy Timberwolf for the last couple of days. Picked up painting last month. Really? Really? Tenacious, welcome. Second project to get near completion. No clue about shading and highlighting, but I'm starting to get control over my lines. Dude. Tenacious. For a second project? This looks fantastic. I hope you're here right now. I hope you stuck around. If you didn't, that's okay. I'll compliment you over in the showcase. Really, for a second project, this is wonderful. And yeah, you have fantastic brush control for how short a time you've been painting. Stuff like shading, you'll pick it up, man. Just keep working, and you'll get there. Yeah, you see what I mean, Carlo? Like, well, you didn't have to put it like that. You don't have to compliment him at my expense. You can just compliment him. That's fine, too. Yes, Wolf Epsilon Galaxy. Right? Yeah, Epsilon Galaxy Timberwolf. Oh, Coral with a face for television. Man, you got a nice beard. You got fucking better hair than I do, dude. Shit. I look like... I mean, I grow my hair out, and you can see how terribly thinning it is on top. I can't grow a mane like that. Good lord. Steiner. This is that bust you were talking about? Holy shit. I mean, obviously, whoever painted this is, like, basically a god of the brush, but it's a nice fucking bust. I got a problem. I think cyber chicks are hot. Oh, this is nice. This is a really good bust. Carla Reynolds getting some work done. On a griffin, looks like, here. Well, that's looking really good. The green and yellow, the green and gold is just such a classic combo. I like how you got some gray in there to kind of break it up, too. It really is a fantastic combination. It pops so well. He looks like he's telling people to halt, like they're marching, and he's like, "Oh, everybody freeze." Kursala working on more tokens. Pardon my topless trees. Scandalous. They come from a planet without modesty. Those are pretty effective. I assume you're going to put like some foliage, some clump foliage or something on top of them. And you got some rough terrain tokens down in there. White Wolf doing some more work on the bases. You guys get a lot done during this stream. Halt! Hamazite! Yeah, that works. Yeah, right? Bad Dachshunds? It's fucking nuts. It's insane how good that was. These look really good. White Wolf, I'm really liking how these are... I can't wait to see the minis once you get them put on there, because, I mean, this is just such a small part of the overall package. Oh, some more work getting done on these Space Marines. Yeah, the highlighting really brings the tops together. The smoker looks really good on this grenade. I like how they've sculpted this so it's the smoke that connects it to his hand. That's pretty slick. Toss and smoke. Oh, and we have our last one for the night, some mostly finished 8th Sword of Light from Crimson Angel. Damn. Those are nice. This is a fairly simple paint job that is incredibly effective. I like how you have contrasted the primary red of the mini with the dark blue of the base. I like that a lot. I like all the grays that you've used to break up the larger zones of red. It looks like that one on the left, is that a Phoenix Hawk from Strato? I think it is. You've got a Whitworth back there, which always tickles my fancy. I'm going to guess that that Marauder is also from Strato. It looks like his sculpt. That Assassin looks nice. I like the Zeus. You've done a really good job on the cockpit glass. We've got a classic Warhammer up front. Even the Awesome looks good, and I am very quick to criticize that Awesome sculpt. Really top-notch work. Hang on, I got something in my eye here. No, these are looking really good. I'm not even really that much of a Sword of Light fan usually, but this is just a good paint job regardless of whether you like the scheme or not. Oh, guys. See, I put a chat box on our Winding Down stream. What with me putting these up on YouTube, I realize it's polite of me to have the chat actually be available to people. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten a decent amount of work done today. Not as much as I had strictly hoped, but then I was doing a bunch of dumbass freehand early on, and it just takes time. Oh, Coral, we are going to continue working on this Annihilator that you can't see because I'm holding it in front of a different camera, because I forgot that I went to my Winding Down screen. We're going to keep working on him, and we're going to get that done for you, and Oh, Coral is going to take his place as the commander, or at least as one of the primary command mechs in the clan Thunderskunk something or other galaxy. We got to come up with a unit name, because if Thunderskunk is the clan, then there has to be some sub units that we can fit our mechs into. Guys, let's see who else is streaming right now. There's got to be somebody doing something, right? We've got Spiky Bits doing some Warhammer. We got Real McClovens. We got people playing games. You know who we got right now? I'm going to raid you guys at somebody that I like, who is a Gundam mechanic. She spends most of her time on stream building Gundam kits. Just building them. Just assembling them, and then doing some really cool non-traditional paint jobs on them. And I really enjoy... Is Steiner Miniatures streaming? It's not showing him. Hang on. Let me check. If Steiner Miniatures is streaming, then we're going to Steiner. It's just not showing him on my screen here for whatever reason. Let me refresh. Kablamo, you're streaming and in my chat at the same time, you fucking maniac. You lunatic. It's not showing you my list. Hang on. Let me pull you up. Not to be rude. Well, you know, I wouldn't have even suggested anything else if I saw Steiner. It's showing your name as NA, which is weird because this is definitely your channel. Well, that's what we're doing. We're streaming to NA, baby. I'm going to send you over to Steiner Miniatures where... What are you working on today, man? I don't know what he's working on. I'm sure it's going to be something good, though, only because it always is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. I have had a blast, as I usually do. I'm glad that we got our audio finally working properly. I'm glad that we managed to get a start on Clan Thunderskunk, find out some things we want to do, some things we want to avoid doing in the future. Maybe I made a mistake or two. You know what? They're just happy little accidents waiting to turn into opportunities. I will be back Thursday, April the 9th. We will be doing some Marvel Crisis Protocol painting, specifically working on Black Widow for my boy Jack. This weekend we're likely to be doing a little bit more Star Wars Legion, and then on Tuesday we will be right back into Battletech. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to send you over to Steiner Miniatures, have a good time over there, tell him hi for me, which you don't have to do because he's also listening to me right now. Guys, have a great couple of days. I will see you on Thursday, and as always, keep on painting.